On day 1, I spawned in as a Fire Witherstorm, a force of pure fiery destruction. Why am I so puny? I only had 6 hearts to begin with, but I knew Witherstorms grew stronger by absorbing blocks and mobs. I tried to absorb some of the nearby blocks and grow bigger, but it didn't work. Maybe I needed to unlock that ability first. It also looked like I couldn't really fly yet. At least I'm immune to fire. The area I spawned into was a molten lava field that would be really dangerous for regular mobs. It was like home sweet home, but there was nothing to destroy. I didn't see any other Witherstorms either, so I figured I had been left behind by the others while they went off to grow bigger. Wait for me, guys! I ran around looking for my friends until I saw something really strange. There was a snowy biome right next to this fire one. What's the deal? Everyone knows that fire and ice don't mix. I heard a growl behind me and saw a fire Cerberus looking really hungrily at me. Hey, Witherstorms aren't nutritious! I hit the Cerberus, but because I was so small, the damage was nothing. I was losing hearts fast to its bite, so I decided to run away. I ended up running straight into a Vex that wanted a piece of me too. All of a sudden, Fireland doesn't feel that much like home. I jumped down into a lava pit and hid myself away. I knew they couldn't follow me because of my fire immunity, so I stayed there safely until the next day. On day 2, I hopped out of the lava pit and found some burnt out trees. It wasn't what I was expecting, but at least I could gather some wood to make my first tools. I've never seen a wither make anything before, but it's nice to be the first at something. These tools would probably burn up if I used them here, so I made my way towards that snowy biome that I saw the other day. On the border between the fire and ice biomes, there was a wide river with a strong current. If I try to cross that, I'll be put out like a campfire. I didn't have enough wood to build a bridge, so I followed the banks of the river to see if there was a place where it was safe to cross. That's when I noticed something small flying towards me from across the river. It was an imp with icy wings.
Do not cross this river. I'm warning you, Fireface.
That's rude. First of all, my name is Zozo. Second, why do you care if I cross it?
It's not me who cares. The Ice Meister is the one who doesn't want anyone from the Firelands coming over here.
I'm a Witherstorm first, and a fire creature second. I'll go where I want.
My warning still stands. There's a war going on, and Ice Meister plans on winning it.
A war between the creatures of ice and fire? That sounds heated and chilling.
Steer clear of it, Fireface. Zozo.
Thanks. I finished the day by mining some stone blocks from the side of the river with my new set of tools. On day 3, I started building a base on my side of the river with some stone blocks as the foundation. Whoever this Ice Meister guy is, he can't be mad at me if I don't leave the Firelands. I was still really weak for a Fire Witherstorm and needed something to protect me from all the wandering mobs until I could unleash my full potential. I was betting that the mobs could sense my true potential, and that's why they were attacking me. Almost done putting up the walls, I'll be safe now. It turned out I spoke too soon, because a dread beast ran inside the base and started trying to infect me with its plagues. I pulled out my wooden sword and swung away at the mob. The wooden sword caught on fire as soon as I started using it. It felt good to be the one attacking for a change, probably because I hadn't gotten to do any actual destroying yet. With the final blow, the wooden sword got destroyed, but I downed the beast. Bye-bye, beastie. Hey, I wonder if I can use my absorb ability on it now. Come on, let's go! Absorb! The ability actually worked this time. The dread beast and a bunch of the surrounding blocks got added into my body. I had gotten way bigger, and my total number of hearts was 14 now. I had 3 tentacles now instead of none. I could make 3 times as many melee attacks now. The only downside was that absorbing more material into myself made part of my base disappear. I'd better be careful what I absorb in the future. I replaced the blocks that got absorbed and made sure to finish the foundation, and replaced my broken wooden sword with a new stone one. This one should last longer now. I plan to go and gather more stone tomorrow. On days 4 to 5, I went looking for more stone by the riverside. This time, I noticed that part of the river was frozen solid, like somebody had built a bridge of ice blocks over the running water. If I tried to walk on it, the ice would melt, but something told me the ice and snow mobs wouldn't have the same problem. I was right. There was already a taiga zombie on the fire side of the river.
How many times does the Ice Meister need to teach a lesson?
Hey, I've stayed on my side. Why can't Ice Master stay on his?
It seems you don't remember what you used to be.
What did I used to be?
You were the Ice Meister's greatest rival, the leader of all the fire mobs in this world. You almost melted all of the snow zone before he defeated you.
Whoa, I used to be the ruler of the fire side of the river? That's really cool. What happened that made me so small and weak?
That's not your business anymore. I'll destroy you before you become that powerful ever again.
The taiga zombie clearly wanted a fight, so I made sure to give it one. The zombie had only one weapon, and I had 3 tentacles and a stone sword, so he was quickly outmatched. I won! Now I'll absorb you too. The absorption didn't work this time, which probably meant that the ice mobs were totally immune. That was disappointing, but important to know. I finished off the zombie and gathered as much of the stone as I could before my wooden pickaxe broke. I went back to my base with the stone I gathered. If there really is a war, I need to get fortified. On days 6 to 8, I found some lost tentacles lying around in the Firelands. I wonder if these used to be mine when I was big and strong. The mysteries grow deeper. I couldn't attach them back onto myself, but I did know of another way to put them to good use. First, I had to gather sticks from around the burnt trees. Next, I upgraded my wooden tools to stone. This let me mine for a couple ingots of iron and gold beneath the Firelands. With access to both sticks, gold, and iron, I was able to craft a hook. Then, I combined the lost tentacles with my hook in order to make a tentacle grab. This special item would let me grapple enemies and keep them from getting away. It would be perfect for keeping mobs within melee range. Not long after I crafted the tentacle grab, I noticed a few ice mobs on this side of the river. They were ice piglins, and they were not happy to see me. Get out of here! Go tell Ice Meister that I survived, and I'm going to become big and strong again. They started moving towards me. Time to test out my new weapon. I quickly struck down the first mob, and then the second. I then snared the ice piglin with a tentacle grab and pulled him in for a tentacle beatdown. Bet you weren't expecting that. Those old lost tentacles were good for something after all. The piglin was defeated. Ice Meister would have to do better than that if he wanted to eliminate me for good. And next, I was going to strike back. It was time to see what this snowy biome was all about. On days 9 to 10, I gathered as much stone as I could find and built a sturdy bridge over the river. Now I can cross over to Ice Master's side of the river and see what I'm up against. The snowy biome had tons of materials that I had never seen on the fiery side of the river. There are blocks of lapis, and the polar bears dropped some pelts, which I used for decoration on my base. I continued through the tundra, seeing all sorts of wonderful things along the way. This was a nice area. It would be a shame if I had to burn it all down. That's when I saw him, Ice Meister. Memories of the last time we fought came flooding back to me. I was a lot bigger than I am right now when I lost to him, but it seemed like he used some kind of enchantment on me. I had to find out more. I approached Ice Meister confidently. Remember me?
It can't be. You're the Fire WITHERSTORM from across the river.
That's right, and you're going to stop sending ice mobs into the Firelands, or we're gonna have a problem.
Pathetic little puff of smoke. I'll let you live just this once, but only because I've already sealed your power away.
I didn't know what he meant, but I had the feeling he wouldn't be so understanding if I stuck around. I turned back towards the river so that I could make my way home. When I got to the stone bridge, I noticed a brown bear halfway over the bridge.
Oh, hey, don't mind me.
Please, don't tell me you're another ice mob invading my territory.
Me? Not at all. I'm trying to get somewhere warmer. Are you from the Firelands?
Actually, I used to be top dog over there. I am Zozo, the Fire WITHERSTORM.
I'm Reginald. All the other bears like the cold, but I'd rather be in a nicer climate. Everywhere Ice Meister goes, he freezes the terrain and starts building cities made out of ice.
Well, then you'll be right at home in the Firelands. It'll always be warm there. On days 11 to 12, Reginald and I returned to my base on the fire side of the river. I soon made an extra room for him with a sunroof so he could get the most out of the pleasant weather. After that, I went to mine for more iron with my stone pickaxe. Because of all the lava, Firelands were rich in obsidian, which I could gather later. It's a sturdy material that would make my base stronger. But before I could get enough ingots, I was ambushed by a wildkin. It did a ton of damage with a single attack. Ow, my heart! I couldn't get any further into the iron mine with that mob down there, so I ran back above ground. I have to unlock more of my former abilities. What else do Witherstorms do? I concentrated as hard as I could on one of the nearby magma cubes. With some effort, I was able to fire a Wither Skull projectile. The mob was destroyed in one hit. Wither Skulls, that's it! The Wildkin would take more than a few Wither Skull attacks to be defeated, but I could at least weaken it before it got close. I went back down into the iron mine and put my plan into action. The Wildkin was waiting for me, so I wasted no time blasting him with 3 Wither Skulls. Now I could fight at close range without worrying about getting worn out. The Wildkin's claws were still doing damage to me, but I had 3 tentacles, so my attacks were much faster. Once I beat him, I crafted an iron pickaxe and mined the obsidian from the surface of the Firelands. This obsidian will look great on my base. I was right. The obsidian made a perfect addition to the outer walls. My base was becoming a real fortress. On days 13 to 15, I started to remember more of what happened back when I was a fully grown Fire Witherstorm. I was huge and absorbing everything in sight. I remember the terrain being covered in ice, but unlike the snowy biome next door, it was the middle of the ocean. I must have been able to fly here from the Firelands. Down below, I saw Ice Meister. He was slightly smaller than the present day, so this must have been his younger self. Hahaha, you're not so tough. Move aside, Pipsqueak.
I won't let you destroy my home.
He sounded really upset, and from the look of things, it seemed like I was the one who had attacked first. I saw Ice Meister hold a black block, and it began absorbing me. No, impossible! My destructive power!
Your true form is sealed now. It will never escape this enchanted block.
I fell down to the ground, a tiny and weak version of what I used to be. I'll be back one day. Ice Meister called some other snowmen to put me on a block of ice, which floated away from this land and down the river to the Firelands. Back then, the Firelands were on both sides of the river. The dream ended there. It seemed like Ice Meister just wanted revenge because of what I did, but he showed mercy to me the last time I was there in spite of that. I can't believe I used to be the bad guy. I should just leave the ice mobs alone from now on. That might be the only way to make up for all the destruction I caused when I was big. On days 16 to 19, I decided to tell Reginald about the memories I was having. I felt really bad about what I did, so I needed to talk to a friend. I thought Ice Meister was the bad guy, but it turns out I made him that way because I bullied him and melted his home.
That is a lot. Have you thought of saying sorry and trying to do something nice for him?
I might have messed up too badly for that. There's no way to undestroy something.
Being sad about it won't fix the problem neither.
Ah, you wouldn't get it. I ran away from the base, leaving Reginald behind. He was better off without me anyway. I was a destructive bad guy, and he was just a regular bear. How could he understand what I was feeling right now? While I was out wandering the Firelands, I saw a village under attack by taiga zombies. Oh no, I have to help! Without even thinking, I raced to the aid of the villagers. The zombies were easier to defeat this time, now that I was bigger and I could clear out several at once. The villagers cheered as I drove the last of the ice mobs off. Their home was saved, and I actually felt good. The Firelands were attacked because of me, but I'm going to save them anyway. I can't change the past, but I will stop this war and save my home.
Thank you, Zozo. We were hoping someone would protect our village from the ice mobs, but we never expected you would return to save us.
I'm back, and better than ever. The villagers brought a large stack of blocks out of their houses and set them down in front of me.
We were storing these blocks for you to absorb, so you could become strong again.
You're not afraid of my true form?
No way! You were always nice to us fire mobs, and with you around, nobody messed with us. Go on, absorb those blocks.
I did what the villager said and became an even larger Fire Witherstorm. My total number of tentacles was 5, and I had 3 heads now. Hi, hello. My armor and hearts were both increased too, with iron level durability and 25 hearts. I was really starting to resemble my old self. In a good way, I hoped. Do you villagers know anything more about how I used to be?
We do know one thing. The legendary block that contains your true form was hidden away by Ice Master after he defeated you the first time. If you can find that, you'll be back to full power in no time.
Full power! I like the sound of that. Even though taking my old form could make me a bad guy again, I decided to find the sealed block anyway. If I'm going to end this war, I may as well be prepared to do whatever it takes. On days 20 to 22, I went back to the base so I could apologize to Reginald for running away. I found him outside the base, fending off some polar bears.
It's over, Reginald. You're coming home with us.
No, this is my friend's base, and I'm protecting it until he comes back.
You're a fool. We were right to kick you out of the Polar Bear Club.
I ran over to help. Reginald, I'm back. I'm so sorry I yelled at you.
Oh, it's the Firestorm. Retreat.
The polar bears ran away in fear in the sight of me.
Thank you, Zozo. I'm glad you came back.
What are friends for? Now that the base was safe from the ice mobs, I started laying the foundation for a statue. I would need a lot of obsidian, so I got to mining as much as I could. With my pickaxe, I diverted part of the river into the Firelands to create even more obsidian where the lava was flowing freely. This also let me improve the base with a moat that even the ice mobs would have trouble crossing. I made sure to give it a drawbridge, and I filled it with lava. That should be enough obsidian to get started. What do you think I'm building? Also, subscribe to Zozo if you want to see more of my adventures. On days 23 to 26, the base was attacked by more ice mobs. Those polar bears who bullied Reginald must have told Ice Master where I was. There was a whole pack of frost stalkers trying to get in. They were some strong mammoths, but fortunately, they weren't the kind that were clever enough to open doors. Thanks to the blocks I absorbed in the village, I was big and strong enough to give them a real thrashing. The last one to be defeated dropped their pelt, which I used to craft a frost stalker cloak. With this, I could disguise myself as a frost stalker and infiltrate the snowy biomes. I traveled over the stone bridge and into the cold forest where the frost stalkers lived. The cloak's disguise worked like a charm. I could tame the frost stalkers and have them keep other mobs out of the forest. The trees here were made of spruce wood, which couldn't be found in the Firelands. I should take some home with me since I'm here. I would have stayed longer, but I was worried about being discovered by the Ice Meister. I went back to the base and built myself a fireplace that would put the spruce wood to good use. When I went back outside, I saw a fire elemental hanging outside the walls of the base.
Excuse me, is this where the resistance is?
Resistance?
You know, the resistance against Ice Meister and his army of ruthless conquerors. Some villagers told me that the Fire Witherstorm was coming back. Is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Oh wow, I'm your biggest fan. I wanted to join up with you and help save our home.
You're a fan of me? Wow, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll let you in. It's safer inside of the base.
Sweet.
I added a room made completely out of obsidian to the base for the fire elemental to live inside. On days 27 to 31, I had another vision, but this time it wasn't from the past, but from the present. I could feel my sealed destructive power calling out for me from inside the enchanted block. It seemed like it had been locked away inside of some kind of underground vault. I didn't get to see the outside of the chamber, but my best guess was that the entrance was somewhere in the snowy biome. I went to the stone bridge in order to cross, but saw that it had been destroyed while I was away. That must have been the Ice Meister's doing. It looked like the mob who did it was still there. A ferocious yeti that was bigger and badder than any ice creature I had faced yet. It snarled and charged at me. You may have wrecked my bridge, but I'm a lot tougher. I launched a wither skull at him before hitting him with the tentacle grab. The yeti attacks were strong, but so were mine. After fighting the big lug for a bit, I let go of the grapple and pushed him into the river. The fast-moving current washed him far away. I jumped over the gaps of the bridge and made it to the other side. On days 32 to 35, I came across a village of icemen. They'll probably attack me if they find out who I really am. I'd better blend in. I used the Frostwalker cloak in hopes that they'd think I was just a mammoth passing through. It didn't really work.
It's the leader of the fire mobs.
Darn it, there goes that plan.
What do you want with us?
Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad guy anymore. I just want my powers to be unsealed. Do you know where the Ice Meister is keeping the block?
I can tell you that it's not anywhere in the Snowlands. Ice Meister didn't want you to invade us looking for it.
I'm not invading, I swear.
Like we'd believe you.
It wasn't on this side of the river. That was bad news on its own. It was even worse because the villagers were really scared of me. I figured I might as well leave, and then Ice Meister showed up.
What's this, Iceman? Are you seriously being friends with a fire mob? That's not cool.
No, Ice Meister, it's the leader, the Fire Witherstorm you sealed away.
That's even worse. I should have you all frozen for this betrayal.
Hey, don't blame them. I'm the one you want.
And you, I told you I'd only spare you once.
Then come and get me. Ice Meister started chasing me, so I ran away from the Iceman village back to the river. Thinking quickly, I took a risk and jumped in. The water would deal damage to me, but I had enough hearts to withstand it now. I had gotten away from the Ice Meister, but the current took me for a ride. That was until I hit an ice bridge further down the river and was able to swim back to shore. It was the Icemen. They had come to save me.
Thank you for distracting Ice Meister. He's gotten really angry lately, and he's obsessed with war. You protected us, so I guess we misjudged fire mobs.
No sweat. Come on, follow me back to the base. On days 36 to 39, I made some big changes to the base so the Icemen who were staying here wouldn't be too uncomfortable with the heat. I carefully made a big pool filled with water for them to cool off. You can never have enough water fun. Well, I can, but you guys have a good time.
You got that right.
Now that you're all here, why don't you tell me more about that block that contains my true form?
Ice Meister said he hid it in a place that is neither fiery or icy. A pasture with a balanced climate and huge fields of crops.
It sounds like there wouldn't be any war happening there.
Yeah, wherever it is.
After talking to the Icemen, I did some more work on my statue. I've moved past the foundation, and it's starting to take shape. Do you know what it could be? On days 40 to 43, the base was visited by a friendly dragonfly.
Salutations! I've heard that you're trying to take the fight to the Ice Meister.
You heard correctly.
All right, it just so happens that I know about a way to upgrade your wither skulls.
Oh, tell me!
There's an ice mob outpost upriver from here where they're keeping the power-up, which will turn your wither skulls to blue wither skulls. It's guarded by a goat centaur archer, so be careful.
I followed the dragonfly's advice and went to the outpost. As soon as I got there, the archer started opening fire. I avoided the arrows and struck back with my wither skulls. Kablam! I'm a pretty good shot. Inside the outpost was the blue wither skull power-up. I absorbed it, and my projectile attacks became twice as strong. These blue ones do serious damage. I felt the call of my sealed self further upriver, so I decided to trust that feeling and keep going. On days 44 to 49, I was astounded by how beautiful the biome around me was. There were crops growing everywhere, and the grass was lush and green. So this is what the world would look like if fire and ice weren't fighting? There were still dangers out here. A whole pack of coyotes tried to eat me, but I was too spicy. That's a fire joke. The coyotes turned away from me and ran back into the field of crops. I saw them a couple seconds later chasing a poor scarecrow. Help! Help! If only I had a way out of this mess! Hang on, I'm coming! I ran in and smacked the coyotes with my sword, scaring them off. Why were they chasing you? I thought coyotes ate meat.
They're vegetarian coyotes, and most of my body is made out of vegetables.
Oh, glad I could help.
I'm Straw Bastion. Feel free to make yourself at home. There are plenty of crops here, all nourished by the magical power source we keep underground.
This magical power source wouldn't happen to look like a black block, would it?
Oh, I've never seen it personally. All I know is that it has a great fiery power, which can keep the ground nice for cultivating crops.
That has to be my sealed form. On days 50 to 53, I followed Straw Bastion as he showed me around his peaceful land. I was keen to get my hands on my true form, but I didn't want to scare him since he seemed like a nice guy. Has this place always been so peaceful?
There isn't any great war, if that's what you're asking. But we do have our own problems.
Like what?
Look around. All this delicious food and nobody to eat it. Every season, so much of it goes bad because the people in the surrounding lands don't come to visit.
Well, I'll make sure that changes.
That reminds me, there's another traveler here.
Oh, how nice. Do I know them? Turns out I did. The Yeti who broke my bridge jumped out and attacked me. He must have swam all the way back up. Let's finish what we started. I grappled him and we began to fight. Straw Bastion got scared, so he ran away. I wanted to go check on him, but I had to teach this Yeti a lesson first. Don't break people's stuff! I hit him with my wither skull and the Yeti was no more. After the fight, I looked around for Straw Bastion but couldn't find him. I guess I'll come back later. I was walking home when I ran into another vegetable person. This one had a tomato for a head. Wait, are tomatoes fruits or vegetables?
What's it to ya?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the legendary enchanted block. How do you get to it?
You gotta dig for it, but you'll need better tools than that. There's a garden shed nearby with a strong shovel you can use.
I took the Tomato Man's advice and found a diamond shovel inside of a nearby abandoned shed. The shed was too small for me, so I used my tentacle to pull the shovel towards me without damaging the shack. On days 54 to 57, I told everyone at the base about the peaceful fields upstream. All the fire and ice villagers were excited about all the food there and wanted to visit. To make the journey easier, I made rowboats out of the spruce wood. While I was working, Reginald came outside to join me. He said he wanted to ask me something. What is it, buddy?
I wanted to mention something about this place with all the vegetables.
Doesn't it sound amazing?
It does, for everybody else. But bears don't eat greens. We prefer fish, and lots of it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You want me to rustle up a source of fish so that you can have your favorite food too.
Yeah, as long as it's not too much to ask.
You've got nothing to worry about, my friend. I decided to go fishing, but not with nets or fishing poles. I dug a gigantic hole in the ground. It was big enough to be a pond. Just add water. Reginald would have all the fish he needed right here at the base.
Thank you so much. Here's a weapon I think you could use. Like you, it's a destroyer.
Reginald handed me a powerful breaking weapon. My excavations would be a lot easier with that bad boy in my arms. On days 58 to 62, the statue was really starting to come together. You could almost guess what it was going to be. A new wave of ice mobs suddenly broke through the base's defenses. There were ice piglins, frost stalkers, and even new enemies I hadn't seen before. Who let them in?
Zozo, help!
I I saw Reginald being attacked by those polar bears again. Thinking quickly, I put on my Froststalker helmet and sent some of the Froststalkers to deal with them. Reginald and I ran away to another part of the base together. When we were there, we saw that the fire villagers and icemen were fighting. Hey, break it up! What's going on here?
I knew we couldn't trust the people of the Snowlands.
You're the ones who couldn't accept us.
Enough! I shouted loudly and got everyone's attention. I probably scared them, but at least they stopped fighting. Stay here and don't hurt each other. I'll go deal with the enemies outside. Reginald, you're in charge.
Yes, sir.
I left Reginald and the villagers in the safe place behind my house and fought back the ice mobs single-handedly. There was one friend I hadn't seen in there, and I was becoming worried. Come on, Fire Elemental, where are you? I discovered him at the drawbridge, surrounded by ice mobs. They had already depleted most of his health by the time I got there. I wanted to do something, but it was too late.
Sorry, Zozo. I thought we could win, so I called for a battle.
It's okay, I'm here now. We'll win.
Oh, good. You can do it, Zozo.
With that, the fire elemental faded away. He had been so brave, and unlike me, he wasn't coming back from this. This was Ice Meister's fault, and he was going to pay. On days 63 to 66, I went to the Snowlands and tried to convince the local creatures to stop the war. This battle is between Ice Meister and myself. None of you need to get involved. If you don't want to fight me, there is a place at the top of the river with plenty of food and no war. If you stay here, Ice Meister will force you to invade the Firelands. A few of them seemed to listen and started heading upstream, but one ran out of the crowd of snow creatures and attacked me.
For Ice Meister, I will defeat you. You cannot be allowed to reclaim your true form.
He was strong, so I had to fight back. At least I wasn't picking on the weaker ones. Stop it! More fighting is not the solution.
It's too late. You already melted our home once, and most of the world too. How do you think the Firelands ended up burned and destroyed?
I did that?
Yes, you are the Fire Witherstorm. You are the true evil in this world.
Please, I'm going to be nicer. You don't have to do this. He wouldn't listen. I had no other choice. I defeated him with a blue wither skull attack. The other ice creatures ran away. I'm sorry. On days 67 to 70, I caught up with some of the other ice mobs that had gone to the crop field. At least they are safe. I saw some ruins in the distance and went to check them out. With the destroyer, I started to dig into the earth until I came upon a vault made of bedrock. Even the destroyer couldn't get through this, probably because of enchantments. I dug around more and found an entrance, but it was guarded. Somehow, this guardian seemed familiar.
I was wondering when you'd show up.
Who are you? And why do I feel like I know you? That's when I received another memory of the past. I saw myself as a fire witherstorm raging across the land. I saw everything on both sides of the river get turned to ash and lava. By my side the whole time was my loyal pack of Cerberus mobs and their leader, Tartarus. The same Tartarus that was standing in front of me, guarding the entrance to the vault. Tartarus?
You remember now?
I don't understand. Why are you guarding the vault, buddy? My true form is inside of there, and I need it to defeat Ice Meister.
The only thing you need is to return home and give up on this quest for the legendary block.
I can't do that. People have gotten hurt because of this war.
People have gotten hurt because of you too. I'm here to stop you from becoming your worst self again.
Even if that means Ice Meister becomes my worst self instead?
Yes, even if that happens.
Then I'm sorry for what I have to do. As Tartarus and I began to fight, all of his special attacks started to come back to me. I avoided his breath weapon and his breaking claw strikes. I pelted him with wither skulls until we clashed head to head. You were really strong, old friend. Sorry again. I drew the destroyer and swung it at him, but he dodged and ran away. Rather than chase after him, I checked the vault for my sealed form. On days 71 to 74, I entered the room that had haunted my dreams. This was definitely where the block that held my true form had been. I said had been because it wasn't there now. Someone had taken it. I felt its call again from far away and realized immediately what had happened. Tartarus must have been keeping the block in his own inventory. He was really determined to keep me from returning to my full self. He's probably on his way to Ice Meister right now to hide the block again. I didn't want to have to fight Tartarus again, but if he was with Ice Meister, the two of them would be unbeatable at my current level. Dejected, I left the empty vault behind. On days 75 to 78, I asked the Froststalkers I had recruited during the ice mob attack what they eat. Like Reginald, the Froststalkers ate fish too, so I used the destroyer to make the pond bigger. All of them will have enough to eat now.
You've really made this place feel like home for me. Have this. I think it'll help.
Reginald gave me a book with an enchantment that could make me take no extra damage from water. Thanks, Reg. This will come in handy next time I cross the river.
You're welcome, pal.
Well, aren't we awfully buddy-buddy?
Oh no, Tartarus!
Seems like you have a new best friend. I should have known you'd leave me behind.
Tartarus, where is my true form?
Doesn't matter. You're not yourself anymore. I'm going to end this bitter memory, once and for all.
He lunged forward. I drew the destroyer. Run, Reginald!
Be careful, Zozo.
The second battle between me and Tartarus began. I could still sense his moves, but he was fighting like I'd never seen him fight before. It took everything I had to keep on fighting until I struck him down at last.
That was a good hit. You aren't totally different after all.
Tartarus, why?
Listen closely, because I only have time to say this once. I brought Ice Meister the legendary block, and he probably still has it.
That means I can get it back from him.
Yes, but pay attention. That sealed block has had its destructive energy reversed through enchantments. That's why all the plants grew so beautifully in that field above. They are all going to wilt away if you don't put it back.
But what about me? My power?
Looks like you'll have to make a difficult decision. I wish you luck.
Tartarus! Tartarus!
Hey, I'll still be there for you. Just absorb me, and I can help.
Okay, I absorbed Tartarus and grew even larger. I was close to a full-size Witherstorm now. I had 60 hearts and diamond-level durability. Thanks, buddy. I'll never forget my oldest friend. On days 79 to 84, I crossed the river without the bridge because I was too big to get swept up in the current. I took the forest route, saying hello to my friends the Froststalkers along the way. Hello. Oh, hey there. The voice came out of a nearby tree. Or should I say, treant. Whoa, I didn't see you there. Didn't mean to sneak up on ya. I'm the gardener of the field, and I've come to give this Ice Meister fella a stern how do you do. How do you do? Doing quite well, thank you. Yourself? I'm actually looking for Ice Meister too. Believe it or not, we might be after the same item. You mean the legendary power source that nourishes our crops? Yep, I used to want to have it for a different reason, but I've decided it belongs in that vault where it can help people. I like your thinking. You're not as mean and evil and scary as you look. Thanks, I guess. I traveled together with the gardener until we saw a formidable fortress of snow and ice on the horizon. I suppose that must be Ice Meister's place. I would keep walking, but I'm pretty tired. You could say I'm bushed. Same, and I have a feeling that he's not going to make this easy for us to get the block back. How about we return to my base for now and discuss strategy? I like where your head's at, all three of them. On days 85 to 89, I told the gardener of the field everything about my journey so far, including how I used to be a bad guy when I was the ruler of the Firelands and how I was trying to stop the war. Sounds to me like you've seen and done a lot of things since you first spawned into this world so long ago. Changing into a better person from who you were in the past isn't easy, but that's what growing up is all about. If only I could make Ice Meister understand that. I don't think he'll ever forgive me, and that makes me sad. Well, to be honest with you, Ice Meister and you might never be friends, but there's a lesson in that. You are a being of pure destruction who brings fire down upon the world, while Ice Meister creates snowy landscapes and gives a sense of urgency to all the creatures he meets. You two are polar opposites, and this world needs both of you. Okay, I sorta understand, but how do I stop him from creating war? I just want the mobs to live in peace. I'll let you in on a little secret, Zozo. I was the one who enchanted that block. Wait, you helped seal my powers? Yes, and look how it turned out. Don't you feel free now? I do, actually. Well, there is your answer. Together, we will free Ice Meister from his ambitions, and the war will come to an end. I'll enchant the new sealing block, but you'll need to gather the raw materials. Done. On days 90 to 94, I searched high and low for as many emeralds as I could find. After that, I traveled to every village on both sides of the river that would let me in. Sorry, I know I'm scary. Little by little, news spread across the land that I only wanted to trade emeralds for bottles of enchanting. They started treating me like a regular guy, which I really appreciated, even though I was too big to get inside the villages. Throughout my travels, I gathered a whole bunch of bottles of enchantment and returned to the gardener. These will do. Give me a few days and I'll have the seal ready. Awesome! With some of the leftover enchantment bottles, I decided to give myself the fire aspect enchantment. It worked! My wither skulls had turned red and could now catch any enemy that they hit on fire. On days 95 to 97, I completed the statue. It had been a statue of TARDIS all along. I didn't even know that when I started building it, but I guess there are some things you never forget, no matter how much you change. My oldest and most loyal friend would now be remembered as a beautiful statue for all to see, and every time I saw the statue, I would remember him.
You've done all right, Zozo. Thank you for remembering me.
Tartarus?
Yep, it's me.
I heard his voice inside of my head. Okay, this is kinda really weird.
Don't worry, I won't be doing this all the time. Just wanted to tell you that I'm proud you chose to put the legendary block back where it truly belongs.
Well, some things are more important than getting back something you lost, or even being the most powerful Fire Witherstorm in the world.
You'll always be #1 in my book.
Thanks, TARDIS. On day 98, I told the villagers that they could all go home if they wanted to, because very soon, there wouldn't be a war on either side of the river.
But this is our home.
Oh, right. I guess you fire guys can stay. What about you, Icemen?
We're not sure. There were so many great memories in this place. I don't know if we want to leave yet.
Oh, stay as long as you like.
Well, I'm definitely staying.
Of course, Reginald. I wouldn't have it any other way.
You're gonna go fight Ice Master soon, aren't you?
Yeah, buddy. It sure seems that way.
Do your best, okay? And come back safe. This base is not a home without you.
Of course I'll be back. Shortly after that, the gardener walked in with the new enchanted block we'd be using to seal Ice Meister's evil side.
Zozo, my boy, it is time. The sealing block is complete. We're going right now to the fortress of Ice Meister.
All right, let's go. I said my goodbyes to everyone at the base. This adventure is almost at the most exciting part, so soon I'll be saying goodbye to you too. But don't worry, we'll have lots of other adventures together. Subscribe to the channel and go watch some of my other ones after this. There are so many to enjoy, like the time I spent 100 days as a lava wither. On day 99, the gardener and I returned to the fortress of Ice Meister and found that it wasn't guarded at all. Where is everyone?
It looks like you've brought peace to this land after all, Zozo. Must have been all that traveling and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and most of all, he has no other mobs to fight for him. This is our chance! I blasted my way in and realized that I wasn't completely correct. There were traps everywhere that shot ice and snow at me and the gardener.
Oh, help! I'm not an evergreen tree. These cold temperatures are going to make my leaves fall off.
Just stay close to me. I'll keep you warm. A trapdoor opened up beneath us.
No, this is it!
No way! I jumped over the spikes and landed safely on the other side. Then I used my tractor beam to catch the gardener and grapple him to safety.
Thanks, you're using your Fire Witherstorm powers for good. Never thought I'd see the day.
You're right, I don't have to be a bad guy, even though I'm fiery and scary. I can help people just the way I am.
Now you know. Let's go get your true form back.
You mean you're letting me have the other block?
Sure, the field only needs one at a time, and you've had your turn. Now it's Ice Meister's turn.
I can't believe I'm going to be returning to my true form after all. This is so exciting! On day 100, the gardener and I came face to face with Ice Meister. He was holding the block that contained my true form. It's over, Ice Meister. Give back what you stole and we'll make this easy.
Easy? You think there's an easy way out of this? I don't think so. You're a Fire Witherstorm, and you're bad to the bone. Your path of destruction won't stop as long as you still exist.
No, it stops now. I'm good, and I can prove it to you.
Zozo is telling the truth, Ice Meister. Why don't you call it quits? Our plants need that block.
You mean this block?
Ice Meister held up the block with my true form inside and absorbed it, becoming a terrifying new version of himself. As if that weren't bad enough, Ice Meister also spawned a bunch of other snowmen to attack us.
Seize them, little ones!
The gardener looked at me and held up the new enchanted block.
I'll fire the sealing spell up. You keep him and his minions busy.
You got it. I unleashed all my powers on the miniature snowmen. I made sure to clear all of them out first before facing off against Ice Meister.
You'll never defeat me, Zozo.
I already have. You thought absorbing that power you took from me would help you win, but destructive power like that should only be used responsibly.
And what would you know about that?
More than you'd think. We all get to decide who we are, and I've decided that this is my true form. As soon as I said that, I instantly grew back to full size. I had 180 hearts. Now the playing field was even. While the Ice Meister was distracted, the gardener finished charging his spell.
Zozo, now, move!
I dodged out of the way as a beam shot forth from the block. In an instant, it absorbed Ice Meister's evil form and left behind only a tiny snowball.
I'll get you for this!
Okay, but take your time. Maybe you could be the good guy this time. With the seal set in place, the gardener was able to save the crops at his field. Meanwhile, I went back to my base in the Firelands. It was peaceful for now, and I hoped that would last. Either way, it was a good day to be myself. On day 1, I spawned into the frozen lakes as an Ice Witherstorm! Whoa, even as a baby Ice Witherstorm, I'm pretty awesome! And thank goodness, because I don't feel cold out here either! But my celebrations were interrupted when I heard the flapping of mighty wings coming towards me. I looked up and saw a huge ice dragon floating in the air above me.
You!
Me?
Don't be funny with me, boyo. What's your name?
I'm Zozo, mister.
I'm Ivan the Ice Dragon, and that means ice is my thing. You think you can steal my thing, you wee little Witherstorm? I'll teach you what it means to be truly ice cold.
Ivan fired a huge ice blast down towards me. It nearly hit me, but I was lucky enough to dodge at the last second. Hey, you almost hit me.
Yeah, that's what we in the business call a warning shot, dummy. The next one will come when you least expect it. You want to keep the icy cred? You've got 100 days to earn it, or frostbite is gonna be the least of your worries.
He unleashed an even more powerful ice blast, and this time I just had to run for my life. Gotta beat Ivan, or he's gonna freeze me to my doom. On day 2, I wandered further across the frozen lakes. In weather this freezing, even I started to feel the cold. This is so embarrassing for an Ice Witherstorm. Maybe I just need some food. I only have 10 hearts. It's important to keep my hunger bar filled up. I searched across the frozen lakes until I finally found an apple tree. It's not easy to grow food in a place this cold, so I needed to enjoy everything I could get. I broke down the tree and ate some of the apples, solving the hunger situation. But it didn't solve the situation of a dread thrall charging out of the distance.
Enjoy those apples, you little baby. That's such a baby thing to do. Eat apples.
Is it? I'm not sure I follow your logic here.
It makes sense when you're a dread thrall, okay? It's like a cultural thing. Anyways, let's fight. Ivan told me that a Witherstorm was trying to jack his style. I owe it to him to put you down.
The dread thrall ran at me and unleashed some powerful attacks. I wasn't strong enough to fight him yet, so all I could do was break away from the fight and run for my life. I got out of there as fast as I could, but as I cowered behind a pile of snow, I heard something approaching. I was terrified, worried that it could be the dread thrall. Instead, a Cyclops stepped out.
Come with me if you want to live.
How could I deny an offer like that? On day 3, the Cyclops led me across a safe part of the frozen lakes, telling me to keep as quiet as possible.
You need to keep a low profile around here if you want to last. Ivan's dread thralls are all over the place.
Where are you taking me?
Shh, somewhere safe. That's all you need to know.
I kept quiet as the Cyclops led me. Then he suddenly stopped.
This is as far as I'll go. It's too dangerous for us all to be in one place. Go forward 50 paces and you'll see a dodo hippogriff at a campfire. Speak to him and then come back to me when you're done.
Okay, understood. I followed the Cyclops' instructions until, predictably, I found myself at the campfire where the dodo hippogriff was waiting.
He sent you. Good. You follow orders. You might have a better chance of surviving than the last one.
Wait, what do you mean, the last one?
You think you're the first Ice Witherstorm to spawn here? There have been many, and Ivan has destroyed them all out of his evil jealousy.
But if he's after Ice Witherstorms, why are you and that Cyclops guy so afraid of him and his goons?
Your people have the worst of it, but Ivan is a nightmare for all of us. Anyone who bruises his ego gets destroyed. We want him gone, and with our powers combined, we can make it happen.
What do I need to do?
Go with Cyclops. Train. Get stronger. If he finds you this threatening now, imagine what you can do when you reach full power.
From day 4 to day 5, I carried out the dodo hippogriff's wishes and left with the Cyclops. I knew that if I was going to survive this, I needed to put a roof over both of our heads. Sit tight, Cyclops. I'm gonna make us some tools and get started. I knocked down a tree with my Witherstorm strength and made the pieces into a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected some stone. I had to be careful where I mined and built, because some areas were just a thin layer of ice over water. When I had enough stone, I built myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. With my spare stone, I started building a basic 2-room base to protect myself and Cyclops from the elements.
This is a good start, Zozo. Solid, but low-key. This won't attract any undue attention.
Thank you, I think.
but it may not have been that low-key. All that building had attracted a dangerous dirt scorpion a long way away from home. As it attacked, this time I fought back until the dirt scorpion was defeated. This gave me the XP to level up, getting 30 hearts and a new power, Ice Blast. Now I can finally start living up to my Ice Witherstorm name. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Cyclops back at the base while I went out to explore a nearby frosty mountain range called the Alps. Wow, the air is very thin up here. I probably wouldn't make a habit of hanging out up here. But my thoughts were interrupted by an adorable orange and white kitty running up towards me.
Please, stranger, I need some help. There's something terrible happening back there.
Calm down, calm down. What's going on here, kitty?
The dread scuttler. It's horrible, and it was chasing after me. I was so scared.
Don't worry, kitty. You just hang back here, and I'll go take care of it.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you.
Please, call me Zozo. I braced myself and went off in the direction that the kitty came from. It didn't take me long to find the dread scuttler, and with the help of my ice blast and my stone sword, it didn't take long for me to beat it either. Afterwards, the kitty approached me, happy that I'd taken care of the nasty dread scuttler.
Zozo, that was amazing. You're the best.
Please, it was nothing.
Well, if it was so easy, maybe you'll help me take care of a dreadlich not far from here. He's been causing a lot of trouble.
Sure, I'll always do my best. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Kitty's instructions and went further into the Alps. That's where I found the dreadlich waiting.
So, you're the one who destroyed my dread scuttler. Do you have any idea how hard those are to summon? I'll make you pay for this, you wretched little ice witherstorm.
Talk is cheap, dreadlich. Let's duke it out. But it didn't take me long to regret being so gung-ho. The dreadlich was way tougher than I thought. He tanked my attacks and returned with some magical attacks of his own. My only option was to run away and survive to fight another day. I met with Kitty again and told her the bad news.
Don't beat yourself up, Zozo. You tried your best, and you did an amazing job getting rid of the dread scuttler.
And I'm gonna take care of the dreadlich too, but I need to get stronger first. Why don't you come and stay at my base in the frozen lakes? It'll probably be safer there.
That's a very generous offer, Zozo, and I think I'll take you up on it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Kitty and quickly set about building a new room in my base for her to stay. I made sure it was the kind of room that'd be really cozy for a cute little kitty. What do you think, Kitty?
I think you did an amazing job, Zozo. So amazing, in fact, that I made a few base upgrades of my own to repay you.
And Kitty certainly had made some awesome upgrades. She created a sheep farm full of, yep, you guessed it, sheep. She'd also created a furnace and a storage room. Are you implying I should go and forge myself some new weapons, Kitty?
Nothing gets past you, Zozo.
I searched until I found a decent cavern for mining, and searched until I found a healthy vein of iron ore. I dug up the ore and took it back to my base with me. There, I used the furnace Kitty built to smelt my ore into iron ingots. And with those and some sticks, I made myself an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Now I'm stronger than ever before. That's what I'm talking about. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to the Cyclops again, asking if he had any advice on how to get strong enough to defeat Ivan the Ice Dragon.
Well, what have you fought so far?
I've fought a lot of things.
Fought and beat, I mean.
A dirt scorpion and a dread scuttler.
You're gonna need to fight stronger things than big bugs if you want to really level up, Zozo. Go back to the Alps and find something worth defeating there. Only true challenge will help you grow your skills.
Great advice, Cyclops. Following his advice, I went back to the Alps. Even making my way up there was exhausting. This was going to be more challenging than I thought.
Hey, if it isn't the big, goofy, apple-eating baby. I knew I'd find you eventually, and now you're doomed.
It was the same dread thrall who'd hassled me earlier, but this time I wasn't going to talk to him. I was going to fight him, and I was going to win. With a combination of ice blasts and lethal strikes from my iron sword, the dread thrall was vanquished, and I picked up a healing potion he dropped. Once I'd swigged it down, I started to transform. I got bigger, stronger. I had 60 hearts and a new ability, shooting with a wither skull. Half ice, half witherstorm. My power is really coming along. From day 16 to day 19, I went from the mountains of the Alps to the even higher frozen peaks. If getting challenged makes you tougher, I'm gonna be as tough as one of these mountains soon. During my journey, I happened upon a book laying on the ground. Its title read, Dread Thrall's Diary. Well, this seems like essential reading. There was a section that read, Ivan's been such a drag since that Ice Witherstorm turned up. He's so paranoid and stuck in his own head. He started staying in that base in the eroded Badlands. What kind of ice dragon hangs out in the Badlands? It's way too hot there. He's staying in the eroded Badlands? That's really useful information. I looked up and saw another dread thrall standing a few feet from me.
Hey, that's my diary, you jerk! Oh!
Before he said another word, I blasted the dread thrall with a powerful wither skull, and he was no more. From day 20 to day 22, while heading back from the frozen peaks, I wiped out a small but vicious gang of coyotes. It feels good to be so powerful. I think I've earned myself a treat. I returned to my favorite mining cavern and collected a few extra chunks of iron ore. Then I returned to my base and used the furnace to smelt them into iron ingots. From that, I built myself an iron chestplate and equipped it. You probably can't see it in all my Witherstorm swirls, but it feels good to know it's there. With my new power and new armor, I felt the confidence to go back and settle an old score. I returned to the Alps, where I saw the Dreadlich waiting.
Ready for me to hand you your Ice Witherstorm Heiny, eh, Zozo?
I'd like to see you try, Dreadlich. This time, it was a much more even fight. With my Wither Skulls and Ice Blast, this time I put him down for good. Kitty is gonna be so pleased when I tell her. Suddenly, a chill went down my already chilly Ice Witherstorm spine. I heard the great flapping of wings in the sky above and saw Ivan the Ice Dragon coming towards me.
Oh, there you are, you little plagiarist! You lazy copycat! I'm gonna be the only ice being out here!
As strong as I'd gotten, I still wasn't tough enough to take on Ivan yet. I did the only thing I could and ran. From day 23 to day 26, I made it safely back to my base and rushed to tell Kitty the good news. Hey Kitty, remember that Dreadlich you were having trouble with?
You mean the one you were having trouble with, Zozo?
Well, those troubles are over. I defeated him.
Perfect! Nicely done, Zozo!
I didn't want to rest on my victory for too long. After all, I had only just narrowly escaped from Ivan. I still needed to get much stronger if I was going to take him down for good. I decided to venture back to the mines and have another shot at gathering up some more iron ore. Luckily for me, there was plenty to be found in another vein underground, and I hacked away with my pickaxe. Once I had gathered up enough ore, I smelted it into some shiny new iron ingots. I had plenty to smith myself an iron helmet and sturdy pair of iron boots to match my chest piece. Now, I was fully protected.
Zozo, come have a look!
What's new, Kitty Cat? Whoa! Kitty had been working on an upgrade to my base as a way of saying thank you for helping her out. She'd built a brand new perimeter wall to keep danger at bay. Now I wasn't the only one with added protection. My base and my friends were too. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to the frozen peaks. Now that a few of the dread thralls and that pesky Dreadlich were taken care of, it was a bit safer for me to explore the area. Although, I had my guard up when I spotted a mighty behemoth. But was he a friend or foe?
Relax, little Ice Witherstorm. Take a chill pill.
Sorry, I can't be too careful with Ivan and his dread horde around.
Oh, that buzzkill. Yeah, I can imagine he would have given an icicle like you a really icy reception.
Are you gonna keep making jokes like that all day?
Sorry, man. I'm just feeling pretty good since you took out all those dread thralls. It's made things around here way cooler. But you know there's still plenty of Ivan's minions around, right?
You're right, and it's not safe for you here, Behemoth. Head back to my base with me.
Sweet! You're a pretty chilled guy, Zozo.
I made my way back to the base with the behemoth. Once we had returned, I was able to grab some wool from the flock of sheep in the pen and use that wool to make some nice decorative banners that really livened the place up. Once the decorating work was done, the Cyclops ran over in a panic.
Zozo, come quickly. I need your help. There is another challenge that might help build your strengths.
Then lead the way. From day 32 to day 35, my Cyclops friend and mentor took me towards the frozen lakes, where we came across a sight that even made my Ice Witherstorm self shiver. A swarm of Ivan the Ice Dragon's dread thralls were chasing after Dodo the Hippogriff.
Zozo, help! It's Ivan. He's found me. He's on to us.
I leapt into battle, swinging my iron sword to chop down some of the dread thralls. I let off an ice blast, then another attack, my wither skull blast. I was desperately trying to clear a path to reach the Dodo Hippogriff, but there were just too many dread thralls in the way. No! The dread thralls destroyed the Dodo Hippogriff. I slashed my sword at them, taking down each and every one of them, until not a single thrall was left standing. But I was still too late. From day 36 to day 39, I decided to wander off on my own for a little while. I needed to clear my head and be alone with my thoughts. I hadn't known the dodo hippogriff all that long, but I was still sad I couldn't save him. He'd had a lot of faith in me being able to take on Ivan, so I figured maybe my sadness was a reminder that I couldn't take his wisdom for granted. I had to make sure I lived up to the dodo hippogriff's expectations. On my travels, I encountered a cactoid in the Alps.
My. Will you please help me? I'm being pursued by a beastly creature.
Sure thing. Just point me at the nasty critter, and it's as good as gone. The cactoid led me to the creature that had been coming after him, a horrible hellhound. I grabbed my sword and readied for a fight. After all, the dodo hippogriff had told me the path to victory was getting stronger, and any battle was a chance to improve. I took down the hellhound with little effort and went back to the cactoid to tell him the good news.
Oh my, thank you, kind, chilly stranger. I've seen Ivan's minions on the move more and more lately. His ego must have been pricked something fierce.
Yeah, that dragon really is vain. He took out one of my friends just to get at me.
Well, he wants to be the only ice creature around. I imagine he feels threatened by you. Take it from a guy covered in spines. Some people only act tough on the outside to protect themselves on the inside.
From day 40 to day 43, I decided it was time to rejoin my friends back at the base. The Cyclops and I had parted briefly after we lost the dodo hippogriff, but I thought about what he'd said before. Only with our powers combined could we take down Ivan.
Hey there, Zozo. Glad to see you're back. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye out while you were gone.
Thanks, Cyclops. Say, this place looks a little different.
Well, I wasn't gonna just sit around on my hands. Have a look around.
The Cyclops had worked really hard at making the base more homely, just the thing I needed to lift my spirits after losing the dodo hippogriff. He'd built plenty of new bookshelves and even a few comfy couches. You know, Cyclops, it's not like we can sit on more than one of these couches at a time.
About that, Zozo, I was wondering if I could invite some guests. There are more Cyclopses like me who have had it up to their eye with Ivan. Would you mind if they came to stay?
Not at all. The more, the merrier. After the other Cyclopses came in and found their places, the behemoth came over to talk to me.
Say, Zozo, when you've got a moment, I also have a favor to ask you.
From day 44 to day 49, I set off from my base to carry out a quest that my friend the behemoth had given me. He said that there was a silver lobo hiding somewhere in the frozen peaks, and that he had some useful info that would help me taking down Ivan, if I could take him down, that is. But while I was beginning my search, I heard the flap of two icy wings and had to leap out of the way as Ivan arrived, swooping in for an ambush.
There you are. I thought you would have given up after my dread thralls killed your poor friend, the dodo hippogriff. You know, he'd still be alive if you had just turned yourself over and let me destroy you, little Whiterstorm.
What's your problem, Ivan? You're really going out of your way to try and stop me from getting stronger. Seems like you might be a little insecure.
You're a pest. Nothing more than a chilly breeze. I'm an ice dragon. I should be the master of the freezing cold. I'll unleash a whole new ice age on this world, an endless deep freeze. But as long as you're around, you're in my way. So let's see if we can't fix that little problem.
Suddenly, a monstrous reaver burst out of nowhere and came charging towards me. Ivan had already flapped away, leaving his minion to take me on. This creature might be my toughest fight yet. From day 50 to day 53, I got to fighting the reaver. This thing was one of the most powerful mobs I'd ever seen. It was all brute strength and rage. I deflected its blows with my iron sword, the occasional hit knocking into my armor and causing me a little damage. I'd need to keep my cool if I was going to defeat this monster. Wait, that's it! I blasted the reaver with my ice blast. While the icy attack didn't freeze it completely, it did slow down the beast's attacks. I could dodge out of the way of its fist a lot easier now and got around behind it to deliver the final strike with my sword. The reaver fell. I had not only survived, but I'd beaten the creature too. But my trusty iron sword was looking a little worse for wear now. Although, much to my surprise, the reaver dropped something that could come in real handy later on, some mystical diamonds. I'll stash these in my inventory for now, but they could make me a great replacement for my sword. As soon as I touched them, I was granted a magical vision by the mystical diamonds. They showed me a little dragon, just newly hatched. It was Ivan, as a baby. He was scared and all alone, left abandoned on the top of a frozen peak. So that's why he was such a bully. He'd felt so helpless, and now he wanted to be the strongest around to avoid that feeling, even if it meant being mean to others. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search through the frozen peaks until I finally came upon the creature I'd been searching for, the Silver Lobo. This thing was nasty. I didn't even have a chance to negotiate or come up with a peaceful solution. It just lunged straight for me. Lucky for me, I had already tangled with a Reaver and survived, not to mention all the Dread Thralls I'd taken down. So with a few blasts of Wither Skulls, the battle was over as quick as it began. And then I saw the thing that was so handy that the behemoth had sent me here in the first place. The Silver Lobo dropped a map. It had been tasked with guarding a location that obviously Ivan didn't want me getting to, so I grabbed the map and made the trek back to my base. I needed to speak with the behemoth.
Hey there, Zozo. It sure is cool to see you back in one piece.
Say, behemoth, why send me after this map?
Well, I figured you should go to where it leads and find out for yourself.
Will I find out why Ivan wants to stop me from getting stronger?
Oh, I can tell you that. He doesn't like being the weak one, and you intimidate him. An ice dragon like him can harness the frost and the freeze, but you're cooler than cool. You're ice cold. Ice withers are made of pure frozen magic. He only wants to hold you back because he knows you could outmatch him.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to do some more work on my base now that I was back for a while. I upgraded our sheep pen, making it more spacious for the flock so they could roam around a bit easier. Then, I took a look at the map I had gotten from the Silver Lobo and started to follow it to see what all the fuss was about. It only led to a mine filled with diamonds. No wonder Ivan didn't want me finding out about this place. I got to work mining as many diamonds as I could carry and raced back to my base so I could turn them into useful items. Before long, I had a brand new diamond sword to replace my worn out old iron one, along with a new diamond pickaxe to make mining a breeze. Then, just as I was finished, my Cyclops friend came up to talk to me.
Zozo, I noticed some of my fellow Cyclopses were a little bit chilly, so I made a brand new fireplace with them. Hope that's okay.
Sure, even though the cold never bothered me anyway, I'm glad you guys can keep warm. The Cyclops and his new pals had even built a whole new comfy living area for everyone to show their appreciation for being allowed to stay in the base. I had to admit, I was pretty impressed with what they'd done with the place. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to ask around my base for some advice. I knew I still wasn't tough enough to go head-to-head with Ivan yet, but I had to do something to get back at him. And besides, the Dodo Hippogriff had made me realize that teamwork was the best way to putting a stop to Ivan's plans. Eventually, the best advice came from Kitty.
You know from that Dread Thrall's diary that Ivan has a base in the eroded Badlands, right? Well, why not go and scout the place out? You don't have to go in or try and face him. Just take a look from the outside to see what it looks like and how to get there.
Good idea! A recon mission! Thanks, Kitty!
No problem, Zozo.
I made my way to the eroded Badlands, making sure I kept to the shade as often as I could, since the Badlands were so much hotter than the frozen lakes. Even though ice witherstorms like me were pure enchanted ice, I didn't want to run the risk of melting. I was able to get a good look at Ivan's base. It was well guarded by plenty of his minions. The place was crawling with Dread Thralls. Getting inside was going to be tricky unless I got a lot stronger. Suddenly, I caught the sound of someone sneaking up on me. It was a siren. Oh no, I thought. One of Ivan's perimeter guards had found me. But to my surprise, she wasn't with Ivan at all.
You're an Ice Witherstorm. Then the rumors were true. Come with me. There is something I need your assistance with.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed the siren as she explained what the problem was.
One of Ivan's dread beasts drove me out of my home not far from here. It's an incredibly territorial creature, and I can't convince it to leave. I need someone to, well, not to be indelicate, but someone that can remove it.
No problem, Miss Siren. I'll handle it. Sure enough, there in a clearing sat the vicious Dread Beast. It immediately sensed the presence of an Ice Witherstorm in its territory, and I got ready for a fight. After all, I'd been looking for a chance to test out my new diamond sword. The snarling Dread Beast was quick, but only a little bit harder to defeat than one of the Dread Thralls. I swung my sword at the monster, and it fell, bested in combat, and now the Siren's home was free from the nasty intruder.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. I wish I could offer you more than just my gratitude, but know that should you ever need a helping hand, I will come to your aid.
Wow, thanks, Miss Siren. From day 71 to day 74, I ventured out across the eroded Badlands, trying to get a better feel for the area and see if I could come across any hidden passageways or other areas that could offer me some secret way into Ivan's lair. I just needed to find something to give myself an advantage, and if I could get a drop on that egotistical ice dragon, maybe that would help me defeat him. I didn't find much in the way of secret tunnels, although I did pass a strange rock formation. When I looked at it from a certain angle, it almost seemed to spell out a word. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, then find our other ones by searching ZO or clicking the channel icon below. Suddenly, I heard a familiar flapping of some fearsome wings. Ivan! I must have wandered close enough to his base for one of his dread thralls to spot me.
You never should have come here, Zozo. I'll teach you to trespass.
Ivan fired his icy attacks at me. Under the sun of the Badlands, he was weakened. Either that, or because I was stronger now, I could take more of what he could dish out. Feeling confident, I swiped my diamond sword at him as he swooped down low, but it wasn't enough to cause any lasting damage. I still wasn't strong enough, so I dodged out of the path of Ivan's next ice blast and took cover until he flew off, frustrated he couldn't find me. He wasn't the only one feeling frustrated though. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to base and went to sit quietly in my room. I was annoyed that I still couldn't beat Ivan in a fight. I knew all about him now, how he had become the meanest, toughest around, so nobody else could harm him, but he still needed taking down. And if I couldn't even manage to do that, then no one else had any hope of stopping him. I wasn't strong enough, and that made me feel like I'd let down the poor dodo hippogriff.
Hey, Zozo, don't feel so disheartened. Come and check out the base. We've made some improvements that are pretty... they're good.
It's okay, Behemoth. You can make a nice joke.
They're pretty cool. That's what they are. Here, I'll show you.
The Behemoth showed me around the base, eager for me to see the new battlements he and the others had been working hard to install. There was now a brand new watchtower, offering a great vantage point to spot Ivan or any of his minions coming if they ever tried to attack our base. I had to admit, even in my low mood, it helped to lift my spirits a little, but not as much as what came next.
Zozo, my Cyclops brethren and I have been talking, and I've been thinking about what the Dodo Hippogriff said to you about combining our powers. This battle axe is a sacred item to us, and, well, we think you should have it.
I was honored. I took hold of the Cyclops battle axe and hoisted it high. I could feel its magic coursing through me as I suddenly grew larger. It granted me 100 hearts and even passed on some ancient wisdom to me, how to perform a special attack called a whirlwind attack. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling pumped for a rematch with Ivan the Ice Dragon, so I made my way back toward the Badlands to take him on with my increased strength and the Cyclops power at my side. Much to my disappointment, Ivan was nowhere to be seen, probably hiding back in the safety of his base. I did come across a fire ogre though. This was one mob I really didn't want to let get the better of me. His burning blasts of flame could have melted me. But luckily, a huge gust of wind from my whirlwind attack and some ice blasts for good measure quickly snuffed out the fire ogre for good. But before I could celebrate, I got quite the fright when a ghost appeared behind me. Hey, don't sneak up on me like that.
My apologies. I've been wandering these Badlands for longer than I could remember. Just looking for where I fell in my last life.
Well, I'm sure I could help you look. The ghost and I searched around for a while, and he seemed to be pretty grateful just to have someone to talk to after being on his own for so long. After a little digging, we came across a shiny diamond helmet.
You found my helmet. This must have been where my body was. Thank you, Zozo. Now I can rest. Here, take my helmet. I'd rather it went to someone worthy like you.
This was perfect. Some added protection from attacks would give me an edge against Ivan. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base, only to find a terrifying sight waiting for me, dread thralls. They were attacking my base. I jumped into action and drew my sword. I let out a blast of my whirlwind attack, sending dread thralls toppling over and flinging them into the air. I cut down two with my diamond sword, then froze another with an ice blast. A heavy strike with my sword, and he was gone.
Ah, jeez. They promised that Ice Witherstorm was just a big, goofy, apple-eating baby. That's no baby. Let's get the heck out of here.
With that, the remaining dread thralls ran off, and I rushed after them. I had to make sure they didn't make it back to Ivan. If they led him to where my base was located, he could destroy all of my friends. I wasn't about to let that happen. I chased the dread thralls across the frozen lakes until they were pretty far from my base. I almost lost track of them, but thankfully, I passed a pink pixie who pointed me in their direction.
Hurry, Zozo! Those horrid brutes are tearing through the lakes, causing chaos! Please, give them what for?
From day 90 to day 94, I caught up with the dread thralls. They'd ran all the way back to the eroded Badlands. If I didn't act quickly, they'd reveal the location of my friends to Ivan, then he'd attack. They were approaching Ivan's base when suddenly the thralls stopped. A hideous creature came out to meet them. It was a Gorgon.
What news for Master Ivan?
We found where the big goofy apple-eating baby was hiding, but he wasn't no goofy apple-eating baby. He's a powerful ice witherstorm.
Silence! Lower your voice. Don't let our master hear. I will break the news to him. First, tell me where I can find this troublesome ice witherstorm.
After the dread thralls left, I ran in to take on the Gorgon alone. I'm right here. The Gorgon gave an angry hiss as I jumped out from my hiding spot and cut down one of the thralls. I took them out much easier than when I'd first started out, but getting rid of them was only the beginning. The Gorgon attacked. I had to use all the attacks I had learned to fend him off. This was by far my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued trading blows with the Gorgon. I thought of the Dodo Hippogriff and his wise guidance, and of the Behemoth, Kitty, and the Cyclopses, and all they had done for me. I couldn't let them down.
An icicle like you can't best me. Out here in the Badlands is where a serpent like me can thrive.
Yeah? Well, if you're anything like your boss, then you're just talking a big game to hide how uncertain you are. And I never met a snake I could trust. A snake, that was it! A cold-blooded reptile. That's why the Gorgon lived out here where it was warm. If I used my frosty powers, I could make him drowsy, slow him down. So that's what I did, firing off as many ice blasts as I could, despite the scorching sunlight. It was working. The Gorgon's attacks got slower, easier to dodge, and I could slash the frozen parts of his body to chip away at his health. Soon, he had been defeated. I'd done it. I'd taken down Ivan's top henchman. The Gorgon even dropped a key that would get me into Ivan's base.
Wait, don't you want to know what happened to the others?
Others? The other ice witherstorms?
Yes, how my master destroyed them all.
With his dying breath, the Gorgon told me that Ivan, after being abandoned on a frosty peak, devoted himself to being the coldest creature around. He had hunted down other ice withers to absorb their freezing powers and make himself stronger. That was why he had been trying to get to me this whole time. I had to stop him, but I'd need to gear up before the final fight. On day 98, I made my way back to my base, hoping to prepare myself for my final showdown against Ivan. It had all been building to this, and I hoped I was ready. First, I spoke to Behemoth.
Don't worry, Zozo. I'm sure you've got what it takes to take down Ivan. You're the coolest customer I know.
Thanks for that, Behemoth. Then, Kitty.
Zozo, take care! Remember to lick your wounds, and don't fight if you've got a hairball. Trust me on that one.
I'll take your word for it, Kitty. And finally, the Cyclops.
Listen, Zozo, I can't thank you enough for giving me and my Cyclops friends a home. I think the Dodo Hippogriff would be proud of how far you've come. We combined our powers, and it made you the powerful ice witherstorm you are.
I just hope that I'm ready to take on Ivan.
None of us are ever ready for challenges, Zozo. We just have to tell ourselves we are, and remember what challenges are for.
There to make us stronger. On day 99, I made my way back toward the lair of Ivan the Ice Dragon, passing the Alps on my journey towards the eroded Badlands. When I finally reached my destination, it seemed Ivan hadn't taken the fall of his Gorgon too well. The place was crawling with dread thralls. I knew I could handle a group of them, but this was way more than I had ever seen. What I could really do with is getting help getting past these dread thralls.
But of course, you only had to ask Zozo.
Miss Siren!
My siren song can distract these thralls for a time. That should help you deal with them. You go in there and take on Ivan once and for all.
On day 100, I made my way into the heart of Ivan's lair and came face to face with the frozen dragon himself.
So, you've come to get melted, like all the other ice witherstorms.
No way, Ivan. I'm here to stop you. I understand why you feel the need to be so tough, but it doesn't excuse hurting people.
I am tough. Why do you think that me, an ice dragon, would make my home here in the eroded Badlands? Because I'm strong enough, cold enough to withstand the heat.
Let's see about that. We clashed. The fight was on. Ivan was much bigger than me and could fly, so he already had a few advantages I didn't. But I had plenty of my own. I was smaller, faster, and far stronger than when we had last fought. Like before, I kept trying to take some swings of my diamond sword whenever Ivan swooped down low and came in for an attack. This was working for a bit, but Ivan quickly realized what I was doing and began to stay, hovering in the air to evade my sword strikes. Flapping his wings to stay above me, he launched icy blasts my way, and I had to dodge as quick as I could. But that gave me an idea. Two can play that game, Ivan. I've got the power of ice, and the Cyclops is on my side. Moving quickly, I used my ice blasts. Then I stayed out of reach and fired some wither skulls his way. It worked. One more swipe of my diamond sword would finish it. Hey, Ivan, you really need to chill out. Boom! Ivan the Ice Dragon was defeated.
On day 1, I spawned as an itty-bitty fire Godzilla. This is rad. But wait, I've only got 3 hearts. What? That's not rad at all. But when I focus real hard, I can make little fires. Look, I just set that tree on fire. Uh-oh, it looks like I upset the baboons who were living there. They're coming after me. I better hightail it out of here. I ran off deep into the forest. Being a tiny baby fire Godzilla wasn't working out great for me so far. Maybe if I can get bigger and stronger, I can use my powers to help people, rather than just burn their houses down. That'll help me make some friends around here. Maybe that big, tough, warped Moscow will be my friend. Hey, I'm Zozo. I'm pretty new around here. Wanna hang out?
Hey, not so fast, buddy. You wanna hang out here? You gotta pay the toll. Empty your pockets, little fire Godzilla.
But I don't have any money.
Then I guess you better come with me, Zozo. If you can't pay, you gotta work.
That was another bridge I'd already burned. I needed to run before the warped Moscow could get his big, buggy hands on me. I grabbed a few sticks from the forest and hid in a cave. These would make some pretty good torches with a little bit of my fire, so it won't be too dark in here. I proceeded to place down some torches before deciding to go to sleep for the night. I'm gonna need to get a lot stronger if I want to last out here. This place isn't kind to baby fire Godzillas like me. On day 2, I woke up in the cave to find my torches had gone out overnight. It was so cold and dark. What if there are spiders in here? I should get moving. I left the cave and entered the forest to explore my surroundings. Whoa, this forest is huge! So many trees, so much wood to burn. I needed to be careful in here, or I'd set everything on fire. When I build my own base, it should probably be made out of stone. I needed to break down a couple of these trees and gather some sticks and wood to make a wooden pickaxe. Perfect! This will be great for mining stone. Now I needed to find a good place to build my base. Maybe somewhere around here? Wait, has somebody already built a cabin here? What's happening here? A druid rushed out of the cabin.
Hey, keep your distance, friendo. I just finished this place. I don't need you burning it down.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to burn your cabin down. I just needed to find a place to make my base.
Base? What? Are you one of Locknar's guys?
What? No, I'm Zozo. Who's Locknar?
He's a necromancer. He's trying to raise an army of the dead. He and his boys have been harassing people about money around here lately.
The druid returned back into his cabin after bidding me farewell. Money? That sounds just like that warped Moscow from yesterday. He must have worked for this Locknar guy. I better start mining for stone near the druid's cabin. He'd probably make a decent neighbor. By day 3, I started gathering materials for my base. I used my wooden pickaxe to start mining stone in a cave next to the druid's place. Hope he doesn't mind a little construction noise.
Hey, keep down that racket, Zozo. I'm reading.
Now that I know there's a necromancer out there building an army of the dead, I should probably go pay attention to home security. First of all, I took the time to clear out an area and build a big stone wall. This should keep out that warped Moscow if he tries to hassle me for more money. And I won't be able to accidentally burn this wall down either. While I was at it, I needed to get myself a weapon. Maybe I could use some of my spare sticks and wood to make a wooden sword. Hopefully I don't burn it to a crisp. Now I'm looking well prepared. While I was making my way towards the druid's cabin, I noticed something crawling out of the forest. It looked like an elder skulk. Better take care of it before it gets too close to my base. Don't you know it's rude to trespass, Mr. Skulk? Let's go! Hi-ya! With this sword, the elder skulk was no match for me. After I hit it a few times, skillfully dodging its attempts to hit me back, it went scuttling off into the forest again. Nobody beats Fire Godzilla! And clearly that fight made a big difference, because I was starting to get bigger and stronger. I had 5 hearts now, and I could let out a terrifying Godzilla roar! On days 4 and 5, I decided to go a little further into the forest to mine some more stone for my base.
The wall was nice, but it wasn't exactly cozy. I needed a roof over my head. I already used some of my spare stone to make a stone pickaxe. But when I ventured out into the deep part of the woods, I ran into an old enemy, the warped Moscow.
You really thought you could get away without paying the toll? You really have no idea who you're dealing with, kid. You don't want my boss to have a problem with you.
Your boss? Is he a necromancer?
You're smarter than you look, Zozo. My boss, Lochnar the Necromancer, he's gonna come take over all this soon enough. And if you're not with him, you're against him.
I'd never be the guy who wants to take over a forest by force. I may burn stuff down sometimes, but I'm still a good guy.
Then I guess I've got to destroy you.
And Moscow came at me so fast, I was knocked back off my feet. I pulled out my wooden sword and tried to parry all of his attacks.
You can't hold me off forever, Zozo.
But I was a little faster than he was. Even with my wooden sword, I was able to get the jump on the warped Moscow and defeat him. Looks like I can handle myself decently now. I should probably spend a little more time out of the forest though. On day 6 to 8, I depleted my mine in the forest. At least I was able to find some iron ore though, and craft myself a cool iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Let's just see someone try to mess with me now. But after getting attacked by the Moscow, I wanted to get away from the forest for a while. I decided to take a trip up to the mountain and enjoy that clean mountain air. And I can't burn anything down up here either. It's perfect. But suddenly, a mountain troll approached me, and it seemed like he didn't want to share the mountain with anyone.
This mountain isn't big enough for the both of us, even if you are the puniest fire Godzilla I've ever seen.
I'm just visiting, man. You don't need to be so mean about it.
How dare you call me mean? I'm gonna crush you into dust for that.
He was so big, and he started chasing me. My only advantage was that I was much faster than him, so I could keep my lead. That's where my iron pickaxe came through. With my iron pickaxe, I quickly mined a big hole in the ground, then carried on running. With my trap set, I decided to taunt the mountain troll by calling him a slowpoke. He ran up to me not looking down, until he fell into the hole and he couldn't climb back out.
A little help in here?
I think you've earned yourself a timeout, mountain troll. On days 9 and 10, I decided to travel further up into the mountain until I found a mountain cave hidden among the rocks. Maybe there will be some treasures hidden in here. Better take a look. I walked into the cave, iron sword at the ready, using the natural light of my fire to light the way. That's when I hit the jackpot. Gold ore deposits. Now that's what I'm talking about. I started to mine the gold when suddenly, despite my fire, it started to get extremely cold inside of the cave. It sent a chill down my spine.
Hello there, little creature.
I turned, and that's when I saw him right there, staring at me. It was Lochnar the Necromancer. Somehow, I could feel the power coming off of him. It was time for me to even the score and use my Fire Godzilla roar. But Lochnar just laughed in response.
Be quiet, boy. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? When my army walks the earth, every flame like yours will be snuffed out.
I wasn't gonna take that sitting down. I ran at Lochnar with my iron sword and prepared to hit him. But with one strike from him, I was thrown back across the cave.
You're so weak. It's pathetic. You're not even worth destroying yet. Perhaps when you're a little stronger.
And with a flash, Lochnar was gone, and I was left terrified. If even my Fire Godzilla roar did nothing, what hope did I have against him? But it wasn't all bad. I noticed then that I still wasn't alone in the cave. There was a fire villager waiting in there too. When Lochnar was gone, he ran towards me.
I can't believe you survived. Lochnar has been going after all of the flame creatures in the land.
But why? What have we ever done to him?
He's a necromancer. He's trying to raise an army of the undead. And everyone knows the weakness of the undead is fire. He needs to destroy us because we're the biggest threat to him.
Then you're not safe here either. You better come back to my base so we can figure out a plan to stop this. On days 11 through 14, I started expanding my base to make room for my new fire villager friend. Just like me, he was perfectly suited to a fireproof stone house. I built rooms for him and me, and another room where we could hang out together. But this took a lot of stone, and I soon needed to leave the base and mine more. I returned to the mine near the druid's cabin, and even though it was exhausted, it still contained some materials. While I was gathering more stone, I suddenly felt that cold feeling again. Oh no, does this mean the necromancer is behind me again?
Not quite, Zozo. I'm merely one of his servants.
He brought me back to life, so I will serve his every order, including destroying you.
It was the Black Death, a plague doctor brought back from the dead. I drew my sword and prepared to battle, but by then, the Black Death was already on me. He hit me and took out some hearts. This guy was way more powerful than me. I ran further into the mine, hoping to find some kind of escape route, but the Black Death was gaining on me. I needed some kind of advantage. Wait, is that a chest? It was a chest. Maybe something in there can save me. I opened up the chest and found a fire aspect enchantment inside. This would give my sword flaming strikes. Perfect! I quickly used the anvil next to the chest to apply the enchantment to my sword. Take this, Black Death! Boom! That got him. The Black Death was set on fire and went running back out of the cave. Fire really does scare off the undead. Safe from the Black Death for now, I traveled back to my base and started making the wall even taller. But now, knowing just how effective fire was against the undead, I made some flaming torches to put on the wall. This should keep out any uninvited guests. On day 15, I went to check on the fire villager and make sure he was settling in nicely. I know from first-hand experience, it isn't easy to be a fire creature.
I find it very comfortable in here, Zozo. Thank you. It's much nicer than having to stay in some damp old cave all day.
So, tell me, what's the deal with this Lochnar guy? Everyone's been telling me that he's trying to raise some kind of army of the undead. Who is he?
Everything you've heard is true, but there's more. People say that Lochnar is over 1,000 years old, and because he's already dead, he can't be destroyed. Centuries ago, he was defeated by a legendary hero and locked up in the swamp of vileness. But somehow, he came back again, and he's trying to finish what he started all those years ago, making an army of the undead so powerful that he'll rule the world forever.
Can the legendary hero come back to defeat him? It sounds like we really need him right now.
That was a long time ago, Zozo. The legendary hero is probably extremely old now, if he's even alive. No, if we want to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer, we need to find a new hero.
Like who?
Well, like you, Zozo. You survived an encounter with him and saved me back in the cave.
No way. Have you seen me? I'm just a little fire Godzilla. The only reason I survived was because he said I was too weak to be worth destroying. I'd stand no chance against him in a real fight. Do you think I could survive a fight with Lochnar? I think I'd need to get a lot stronger first. On days 16 to 19, I started putting together a plan with the fire villager. If Lochnar is destroying fire creatures because he knows they're a threat to his undead army, we better gather up as many fire creatures as we can.
Great idea, Zozo. If memory serves, Lochnar's undead minions were keeping a Blaze prisoner in an underground cavern near here.
Then I guess I better go rescue him. After hours of searching the forest, I found a secret entrance to an underground area, sneakily hidden among some trees. Hopefully I'm not too late to help the Blaze down there. I rushed through the entrance. I made my way into the insides of the underground cavern and took a look around, trying not to draw too much attention to myself. I saw a lava river running through the bottom of the cavern, so my fire wasn't too out of place here. Wait, are those wither skeletons? They were! A bunch of wither skeletons were scattered everywhere along the path leading deeper into the cavern. They must be guarding the prison cell where the Blaze is. I ran in with my new fire aspect sword and started to fight them off as I went deeper and deeper into the cavern. After I took most of them, I unleashed my Fire Godzilla roar. It scared some of the wither skeletons so bad, they ran off faster than their bones could shake. Clearly, all of this fighting was worth some pretty great XP, because I grew to almost twice my size, with almost twice the armor and twice the hearts. Maybe I can be strong enough to take on Lochnar, with the right training. But first, I broke open the prison with my iron pickaxe and freed the Blaze.
Thanks for getting me out of there. It was really starting to get stuffy.
Don't mention it, buddy. How did you get captured?
Well, I was out here searching for the Kyther of Light when I got ambushed by all those skeletons.
You were looking for what?
The Kyther of Light. It's the weapon that the legendary hero used to defeat Lochnar all those years ago. It's said to be the most powerful weapon against the undead in the world.
Oh, wow. Then I should probably start looking for it too. Come back to my base. I want to know more. On days 20 to 22, Blaze and I returned to the base, only to see it being attacked by a horde of zombies. Even the torches I'd added to the walls didn't seem to scare them off. Lochnar was making some really tough undead for us to face. Thankfully, with Blaze at my side, the fight didn't last long. With his flames and my fire sword, we were able to take on the zombies and send them back from whence they came. So long, you undead meanies.
It feels so good to be free and fighting again.
Glad you're back in the groove, Blaze. But while the zombies weren't too difficult to defeat, this incident did make me realize our base needed some better defense. Or at least something to scare off potential attackers. That's when I had a great idea for the statue. The perfect thing to keep the undead away. I started working on the base of the statue with excitement. This is sure to keep the mobs at bay once it's done. Can you tell what it's gonna be? And if you want more adventures like this, subscribe to Zozo, because believe me, the best is yet to come. With Blaze here at the base, I've still got to do one more thing. Add a new room for him. With me, Blaze, and the Fire Villager all together, we're a fiery force to be reckoned with. On days 23 to 26, the base came under attack worse than ever before. I woke up to find the base surrounded by mutant skeletons who were bigger, faster, and stronger than even wither skeletons. I ran out with my fire aspect sword and started attacking them one by one. Each mutant skeleton took several hits with the sword to down. These guys were tougher than any grunt enemy I'd faced so far. A little help here, guys? Luckily for me, Blaze and the Fire Villager were there to help. With the three of us working together, we were able to drive off the remaining mutant skeletons back into the woods. That'll teach you to attack our base, skellies. Oh look! One of the mutant skeletons dropped a bow. Yes. That's perfect. I needed a good long-range weapon for my arsenal. What should I do next?
Zozo!
Yes, Blaze?
Now we fought off the mutant skeletons, you should start exploring the deep dark woods for the Kyther of Light. We need it to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
Good idea, Blaze. I journeyed out into the deepest, darkest part of the forest, knowing it would be the exact kind of place where Lochnar's minions would be waiting for me. And I was right, but I wasn't the only one. There was a fire elemental being surrounded by mutant zombies. The strongest zombies yet. Lucky for me, I had my new bow. I pulled it out, keeping a distance as I fired arrows at the mutant zombies. They seemed so shocked by my surprise attack, they retreated further into the dark of the forest. I'd saved the fire elemental. Wanna come back to my base, little buddy? I'm collecting fire creatures. He seemed eager, so we headed back to the base. I built a new room to house the fire elemental, and built in a new base defense. Large holes dug into the ground around the base, so any stumbling zombies thinking of attacking would fall right in. I'm feeling safer already. On days 27 to 31, I started off by asking Blaze to tell me everything he knows about the Kyther of Light, seeing as it may be our best chance to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
It's an ancient weapon, Zozo, supposedly created by a powerful group of sorcerers, for if there was ever a great evil they needed to strike down. The legend goes that only someone pure of heart can wield the Kyther. To a being of evil, it's useless.
But how can I find it? Even the most powerful weapon in the world is only useful if it's in our hands.
Perhaps the legendary hero would have hidden the Kyther in the last place the undead would think to look, the Nether.
Oh no, the Nether? That's one of the most dangerous places out there. I guess if it's the only place I can find the Kyther, it's off to the Nether I go. With my sword and my bow, I set off for an old Nether portal in the woods. It's now or never. Yeah, bad joke, sorry. On the other side of the portal, it was all flames and lava. A fire Godzilla honestly looked kind of at home here. What didn't look at home was a huge, scary pigless running straight towards me.
You must be Zozo. I guess you're here looking for the Kyther of Light. Brave kid.
And I guess you're here to find the Kyther too, before I can find it.
You're a smart kid too, but I've got orders direct from Lochnar. Only one of us is leaving the Nether. Let's go.
I tried to draw my bow, but the pigless was too fast for me. I was lucky enough to pull out my sword just in time to counter his attack. Before he knew it, I hit him back and eventually managed to hit him in a way and made him touch lava. And due to that, he screamed a bit and moved away.
You're tougher than you look, but I'll get you next time, you little twerp.
And with that, he ran off into the depths of the Nether. On days 32 to 35, I traveled deeper into the Nether, leaving the wastes and entering the Crimson Forest. Wow, this place is super scary. If the legendary hero really hid the Kyther here, he must have been one tough warrior. The Nether has some of the scariest mobs around, but I was surprised to see a familiar face amongst all the trees and lava. It was a baboon, just like the one I met on my first day here.
Hey, aren't you the one who burned down my tree?
I'm sorry, Mr. Baboon. It was an accident. I'm a fire Godzilla. Sometimes I burn stuff down.
Whatever. It doesn't matter now. What are you doing in the Crimson Forest?
I'm looking for the Kyther of Light to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
Wait, you too? He attacked my family with some zombies. I heard the Kyther might be hidden in the Soul Sand Desert. Let's travel together. We have better odds.
Sounds good to me, Mr. Baboon. We traveled together to the Soul Sand Desert, which was every bit as bleak and barren as the name suggests. I then noticed Lochnar the Necromancer standing on top of a floating island.
Hello again, Zozo, was it? Nothing about you was particularly memorable.
You're all smug now, Lochnar, but you won't be when we find the Kyther and defeat you.
You won't be able to find anything when you're dead.
Suddenly, the ground below me and Mr. Baboon began to shake. I drew my bow and fired at Lochnar, but he didn't even flinch. It was useless. If we couldn't escape, we'd be done for. That's when I had an idea. I turned and fired my bow at one of the ghast. That should get the attention of him and his ghastly friends. With Lochnar preoccupied with the ghast, Mr. Baboon and I ran away, back towards the nether portal.
That was some quick thinking back there, Zozo. You really saved our skins.
I couldn't have done it without you. Come back to the base with me. You can join our anti-Lochnar squad. And with that, we exited the nether. On days 36 to 39, I returned back to the base with the baboon. I built him a little treehouse because he didn't find the stone fortress as comfy as me and my fire creature friends. I gathered my new basemates together, the fire villager, Blaze, the fire elemental, and the baboon. I needed to hear their thoughts on my hunt for the Kyther. It wasn't in the nether wastes, the crimson forest, or the soul sand desert. If the Kyther really is hidden in the nether, where could it be?
You're telling me you didn't check the basalt deltas?
The basalt deltas? What's that?
It's the most dangerous place in the nether, Zozo. If the legendary hero really didn't want the Kyther to be found, that'd be the best place to hide it.
The most dangerous place in the nether? I can't go there yet. The rest of the nether was already dangerous enough. If the Kyther was really in the basalt deltas, I needed to get stronger to get there, and I needed a little more inspiration. That's why I started working more on the statue. I must say, it's coming along quite nicely. From days 40 to 43, Blaze approached me, knowing I was feeling nervous about going back into the nether.
Look, Zozo, the nether is a scary place. I know, I used to live there. But sometimes, when you can't fight your way through, you need to sneak.
But Blaze, I can't sneak. I'm a fire Godzilla. I'm too easy to spot.
I know, but that's where my new plan comes in. There's a potion recipe hidden in a book I left in a lava canyon near here. If you can go get it for me, I'll make you a potion you'll find extremely useful.
So that's exactly what I did. I found my way to the underground lava canyon. It was really hot down there, but thankfully, fire Godzillas don't mind the heat. There had to be a chest down there somewhere. If someone left a book down here on its own, it'd just burn up. But my thoughts were interrupted when suddenly a huge serpent tried to grab me. It was a heck of a jump scare. I'm not on the menu, so slither on by, you reptile. I managed to hit it and knock it into the fiery depths below. That will teach you to mess with a fire Godzilla. As I continued to explore, I saw the chest tucked away in a corner. Let's take a look inside. A book! Jackpot! I then proceeded to leave the lava canyon and make my way back to the base. I gave the book over to Blaze, and he made me a potion.
This right here is a potion of invisibility. It might make your journey into the basalt deltas a little less dangerous.
Thanks, Blaze. This is perfect. On days 40 to 49, I made my way back to the nether portal deep in the forest. Here goes nothing. After landing in the nether, I made my way through to the basalt deltas. My friends weren't kidding when they said this place was dangerous. It looks impossible to even build here. I took the potion of invisibility and started to sneak through. There were sheer cliffs everywhere. I had to be careful so that I didn't fall.
Help me, please, someone help me.
Oh no, is that an illager? What's he doing in here? And why is he surrounded by endermen? I can't just leave him like that. I need to help him, even if it means wasting my invisibility. Still keeping my distance, I pulled out my bow. I opened fire at the endermen, causing them to teleport away. That gave me a window to get the illager out of there. Come with me if you want to live. Me and the illager ran for the hills until we were out of the basalt delta and back in the much safer Soul Sand Valley.
Thank you, kind stranger. You saved me. How can I ever repay you?
You can tell me everything you know about the Kyther of Light. I need it to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
Wait, the Kyther of Light? That reminds me of an old poem I used to hear all the time when I was a kid. Who seeks the Kyther, brave and true, venture into the forest blue.
The forest blue. Wait, that sounds like the warped forest. It's the only place in the nether I haven't checked. Come with me, we'll go find it. On days 50 to 53, me and my new friend the illager made our way into the warped forest, one of the slightly nicer parts of the nether. I might have even enjoyed it if we weren't ambushed by that pigless I fought earlier.
Hey, looky here. It's that dweeb, Zozo.
Name calling? Really? That's just uncalled for, man.
No, Zozo. What's uncalled for is you being here. Me and the rest of Lochnar's boys have already found the Kyther, and it's far away from here. You're gonna get destroyed in the nether for nothing.
That's it. You're going down, Pigless. But Pigless pulled a dirty trick. He didn't go for me. He went straight for the illager, taking him down immediately. No, you can't do that.
I can do whatever I want. Let's tango, Zozo.
We clashed again, but this time I was stronger than before. I dodged his attacks easily, and with a few well-placed strikes from my fire sword, Pigless was done for. With him gone, I was all alone in the Nether again. Maybe Pigless had lied about them taking the Kyther. I had to explore and find out. There was a bastion remnant, an ancient ruined fortress nearby, and it seemed like the exact kind of place the legendary hero might have hidden the Kyther. Instead, all I found was a great beast, cowering in the shadows.
Is the Pigless gone? That guy dragged me along with him to help him find the Kyther. Most of the rest of our team was destroyed by nether mobs. It was horrible.
It's okay, I defeated the Pigless. You said he made you work for him. Do you have any idea where they may have taken the Kyther?
Tough to say. I think Pigless mentioned something about taking it back to the camp. He probably meant the one in the wasteland, back outside the Nether.
Perfect, so at least I know where to look next. Let's get out of here.
Wait, before you go, you deserve a reward for taking out that jerk Pigless. I was gonna use it myself, but here, it's a knockback enchantment. Your strikes will knock back your enemies now.
Oh, finally, some good luck. From days 54 to 57, I returned to my base and started making some adjustments. I added some guard towers so that we could spot any incoming threats faster. Just as I finished repairing and adding the knockback enchantment to my iron sword, the fire villager staying in the base approached me, looking very worried.
Zozo, I need a hand. I've been looking into it, and I've seen that a mutant zombie is skulking out in the forest outside. You should probably go take care of it while I'm working on an extremely important potion.
This would be the perfect opportunity to try my new knockback ability. I ran out into the forest, and just as the fire villager had told me, there was a mutant zombie making its way towards our base. I needed to put a stop to it. Come on, mutant zombie, you're no match for me. And I was right. With the knockback enchantment on my fire sword, I defeated it in no time and headed back to the base.
Great work, Zozo. And here's your reward. I made a potion of slow falling. When you take it, it eliminates fall damage. You never know when that'll come in handy.
On days 58 to 62, I continued work on the statue. I was really pleased with how it was coming along. Can you guess what it is yet? Suddenly, I heard the baboon yell out in panic from his treehouse.
Guys, something is coming towards us.
I looked out and saw a mob coming towards us. Creepers, courtesy of Lochnar the Necromancer. This is bad, this is really bad! But before we could do anything, the first wave of creepers had already hit. Several of them exploded, taking out huge chunks of the defensive wall, and others started crawling through the new gaps. I decided to rush in and finally get rid of the creeper menace. They started exploding again, taking out chunks of the base. By the time I managed to turn the tide of the fight, huge portions of our base had already been destroyed. When I had the advantage, the last surviving creeper ran off back into the forest. The fight was over. For now. We need to start rebuilding immediately. Blaze, fire villager. Wait, where's Baboon? That's when we realized the creepers had blown up Baboon's treehouse with Baboon inside of it. From days 63 to 66, hungry for fiery vengeance, I followed the last remaining creeper back into the woods. You and your friends aren't going to get away with destroying Mr. Baboon. I chased him into the forest and saw him disappear down into an underground cavern. I was so angry, I didn't even think about how dangerous it could be to chase a creeper into an enclosed place. I hopped down into the cavern, but the creeper was nowhere to be seen. Instead, I found a book laying on the ground containing a secret note. Invade the base and destroy them all. Any survivors must return to the camp in the desert. G-O-A-W. G-O-A-W? Who's that? Wait, the camp in the desert. That's where they must be keeping the Kyther of Light. It was only then that I looked up and saw the creeper crawling quickly towards me. No time to think. On pure instinct, I pulled out my bow and fired. Boom! The creeper exploded, taking out a portion of the cavern. Lucky for me, thanks to the quick reflexes, I was out of the blast zone. From days 67 to 70, I traveled for 2 days all the way out to the desert. It was a really tough journey, but by the end, I finally saw the camp. It was a cabin surrounded by campfires, with a ghostly figure floating around it. It looked like the ghost of an ancient warrior. Lochnar the Necromancer must be able to raise skeletons, zombies, and ghosts. Wait, ghost of ancient warrior? That must be G-O-A-W, the one who wrote the note. He must be a pretty big deal. As I got close, I noticed there was a gorge in the desert just outside the camp. Better not fall in. I drew my bow and fired at the ghost, but predictably, the arrow went straight through him. That's when he threw through the air and lunged at me. He didn't even talk, he was all action. I managed to dodge and strike back with my sword, but he parried. This guy was a better fighter than anyone I'd ever faced. I didn't even know if I could defeat him. That's when I had an idea. If I'm not strong enough to beat him yet, I can still trick him. Before he could attack me again, I quickly drank my potion of slow falling. Then, when he attacked me again, I jumped back and fell into the gorge. To him, it looked like I fell to my doom, but thanks to the potion, I was just fine. When the ghost finally floated away, I climbed back up to the top. Kyther of Light, here I come! On days 71 to 74, I was finally able to make my way into the cabin being guarded by the ghost of the ancient warrior. Except, the Kyther wasn't there. The cabin was empty. All I heard was the echoing laughter of Lochnar the necromancer. He was always a few steps ahead. Once again, it all been for nothing. I made the long trek back to my damaged base, empty-handed. On days 75 to 78, I came back to the base and noticed how damaged it really was. It was still heavily damaged from the creeper assault, and I needed to start the repairs immediately, so I did just that. But I felt terrible knowing that now Mr. Baboon is gone, I didn't need to rebuild the treehouse. As I finished up the repairs, the fire villager approached me.
Hey Zozo, I just wanted to say I'm sorry you didn't find the Kyther, but I know you're strong enough to beat Lochnar anyway. I figured this might help.
That's when he handed me a diamond sword with fire aspect, the strongest weapon I'd ever had my hands on. Wow, thanks Fire Villager! It may not be the Kyther of Light, but it's the next best thing. And it turns out that the diamond sword couldn't have come at a better time, because suddenly, the ghost of the ancient warrior had returned, and he was flying at me. Guess it's time for a rematch. But this time, I didn't need any cheap tricks to take him down. Using my new diamond sword, I dodged his blows and struck him again and again, until he burst into ghost vapor and disappeared. I immediately started growing larger and larger, as well as doubling my hearts. But it wasn't just that. With my new size, I gained Godzilla strength, making all my close-range attacks 3 times as powerful. Just then, the fire villager ran up to me.
You did it, Zozo. You defeated the ghost of the ancient warrior. That's amazing. Wait, Zozo, I found this where the ghost vaporized.
It looks like a notebook. The latest note read, Lochnar is nearly at his full power. The final arrangements are being put into place. Destroy Zozo and the druid. Wait, the druid from the cabin? He's involved in this too? On days 79 to 84, I knocked on the door of the druid's cabin to find out how he was involved in all of this. Just like when I first met him, he wasn't eager to have me as a visitor.
Keep your distance, Fire Godzilla. You're even bigger than last time, and my house is very flammable.
I don't want to burn your house down, druid, but I know someone who does. I've seen instructions from Lochnar the necromancer. He wants to destroy me and you. What does he have against you?
Ugh, Lochnar again? I thought I was done with that guy.
What do you mean?
I defeated him a few hundred years ago and sealed him away. I figured he'd stay gone for good, but I guess not.
Wait, does that mean you're the legendary hero?
I was, sure, but then I retired to become a druid. It's a much easier life. And besides, you should be fine. As long as you have the Kyther, he won't be that hard to defeat.
But he has the Kyther.
Oh, okay. This could be bad.
After our conversation, the druid led me back out into the forest to find another nether portal. He'd hid another weapon in the nether all those years ago as backup, if ever the Kyther fell into the wrong hands. But when we arrived at the side of the portal, it had already been destroyed.
This isn't good. If Lochnar destroyed the nether portal, it means he doesn't need it anymore. He's reaching the full height of his powers.
What do we do now?
Well, from where I'm standing, the only option is to...
An arrow shot out of the woods, hitting the druid and destroying him before he could even finish his sentence. No, this can't be happening! I turned to see a small gang of skeletons emerge out of the thicket behind us. As they ran at me, I made short work of them with my diamond fire sword. But now, I was out of options and out of time. There was only one thing left to do. I need to find the Swamp of Vileness and destroy Lochnar myself. On days 85 to 89, I made my way out to the snowy landscapes of the north, where I finally found the great beast I'd met back in the nether. As far as I could tell, he would be the only one who could tell me where to find the Swamp of Vileness and finally track down Lochnar the necromancer himself.
I know where to find it, but it won't be easy. It's beyond the forest, but you can only go at night. And that's the thing. That creep is strongest at night. So if you're gonna take him on, you better be well defended.
That's a useful tip. Thanks, Great Beast. From days 90 to 94, I decided to take the Great Beast's advice and armor up. I used my iron pickaxe to mine some diamonds and turned them into a full set of diamond armor, helmet, chestplate, leggings, and boots. But I didn't want to stop there. I needed some enchantments to really make sure I could take a punch from Lochnar and his evil army of the undead. I gave myself the protection enchantment. That makes my armor twice as durable against close range attacks, and projectile protection, which kept me safe from ranged attacks. Let's see Lochnar take me on now. From days 95 to 97, I finally finished the statue. Its flame could be seen from miles away and should keep all the bad mobs away from my base once and for all. It was a beacon of hope for all fire mobs, a bright, brilliant beacon that could be seen from miles away. And that's when I realized why I had to take on Lochnar and his undead minions. I could either use my fire powers to destroy, like when I accidentally burned down Mr. Baboon's tree, or I could use it to be a beacon of hope, to fight back against evil whenever I can, because it's the right thing to do. So it's exactly what I was going to do. On day 98, I spoke to the fire villager in Blaze about my plan to attack the Swamp of Vileness and finally take down Lochnar.
You can't do this alone, Zozo. You're strong, but Lochnar is so powerful, and he has an entire army.
He's right, Zozo. Why don't you let us come with you? Surely we'll be stronger together.
I can't put you at risk like that. You need to stay here as backup, in case Lochnar defeats me and his undead army escapes. But I can't let that happen. Trust me, no matter what, I'm going to defeat Lochnar and put an end to his evil reign of terror. With that, I exited the base, but was suddenly stopped by someone I haven't met before. Can I help you? He said nothing and dropped me a note and left. The note said, if you want to help me defeat Lochnar, you should subscribe to Zozo and check out our other adventures. You can even suggest what you want to see next down in the comments. Alright, I'm sure with the help of you guys, I'll actually manage to defeat Lochnar. On day 99, following the instructions of the Great Beast, I made my way to the Swamp of Vileness in the dead of night. It was every bit as creepy as I'd imagined. Mist hung low, the mossy skeletons, minions of Lochnar, were patrolling back and forth. I didn't have any more potions of invisibility. I needed to fight my way through. Okay, Skellies, come get me. I want to speak to your manager. That got their attention. Suddenly, waves of mossy skeletons started running at me, while others fired bows at me from a distance. Thankfully, with my enchanted diamond armor, I could deflect most of the damage, and my enchanted diamond sword could destroy them in one strike each. But that wasn't the problem. The mossy skeletons may have been weak, but every single time I defeated them, more just kept coming out of the fog. Don't you guys know when to quit?
They are the least of your worries, Zozo.
It was Lochnar. I could hear his voice, but I couldn't see him. It was like he was everywhere around me.
If you survive this onslaught, come a little further and meet me in my crypt. It'll be the last thing you ever do.
I wasn't going to let him get away with that. No matter how many skeletons he threw at me, I'd keep fighting to the very end. With my sword at the ready and my flames brighter than ever, I moved in towards the crypt of Lochnar. On day 100, I fought through the mossy skeletons and reached the crypt, which looked like a big, rickety pile of ancient stone. But there were stronger enemies waiting for me there. Mutant skeletons and mutant zombies came running at me, but my sword was ready. I hit them again and again, sending one after another down. But just like the mossy skeletons, more of them kept coming. I'm really starting to get sick of you guys. I unleashed a mighty fire Godzilla roar that could be heard across all of the Swamp of Vileness, and it knocked out all of the undead at once. It was just me in the crypt, so I pulled out my iron pickaxe and started destroying it, just to spite Lochnar. But just then, I fell down deeper into the crypt. Oh my gosh, there it is! That's the Kyther of Light! This is where he's been keeping it! I grabbed the Kyther. Now, I was ready to take on Lochnar.
I wouldn't be so confident, Zozo.
Boom! Lochnar appeared behind me, more powerful than he'd ever been before.
Do you really think you can beat this?
Lochnar began to grow as his power increased, becoming a huge, monstrous super necromancer. Like this, he really did look like he could take over the world. But I wasn't done yet. And do you really think you can beat this? I summoned up all of my power and channeled it. My flames got brighter as I grew, taking in the power of the Kyther of Light. I became Ultra Fire Godzilla with 30 hearts and almost unbreakable armor.
You can't do this. It isn't fair.
Life isn't fair, Lochnar. Let's go. Lochnar threw everything at me, hitting me again and again, but getting nothing. Now it's my turn. With one mighty swing of the Kyther, with all my power behind it, Lochnar was destroyed once and for all, never to raise another undead minion again. Safe at last, I returned to the base to celebrate with the fire villager in Blaze. Things were finally looking up for all of us. Day 1, I spawned into a cave full of wolves as a devil golem. That explains my devilish charm. Oh wait, looks like I'm only a baby devil golem. Maybe these wolves are raising me. I can't remember much. That's when a huge, scary soul eater came barging out of the shadows, like he was looking for me the whole time.
Don't you remember me, Zozo?
You used to work for me until you got all those silly ideas about kindness and personal freedom into your head. Why don't you work for me again? You can help my world domination plans come true.
World domination? Sorry, Mr. Soul Eater, but that really doesn't sound like my scene.
Fine, then perish!
And just like that, the Soul Eater started breathing fire! I managed to dodge it just in time, but my wolf friends weren't so lucky. They got fried! Oh no, my wolf friends! You monster! The Soul Eater didn't care. He just watched as I ran out of the cave.
Me and my minions are going to hunt you, Zozo. We're the most powerful beings you've ever faced, and I guarantee we'll destroy you within 100 days.
100 days avoiding the Soul Eater and his crazy evil minions? Seems like I had my work cut out for me. On day 2, I was able to escape the cave with my life, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. In fact, I'd literally run out right into the woods. What a coincidence. And I only have 3 hearts. If I mess with the wrong mob while I'm this weak, I'll be a goner, for sure. So imagine how I felt when a djinn, a powerful magical creature, flew out of the trees and started attacking me. You don't normally find djinns in overworld forests, so he must have been one of the evil Soul Eater's minions. Can't you guys leave me alone? I don't even know what's going on yet. There's something wrong with all of my memories. But the djinn was no talk, all action. He started attacking me with his extreme speed and magical abilities. I didn't stand a chance against him. But just as I was about to give up hope, a glowing wisp suddenly appeared behind me. She seemed almost as frantic as I was.
Quick, tell me, are you a good devil golem or an evil devil golem?
I'm really trying my best to be a good one.
Correct answer, stranger.
As the djinn prepared another attack, the wisp grabbed a hold of me and teleported me out of there. On day 3, thanks to being teleported by the wisp, we arrived in a friendly village where things seemed to finally be a little chill. I was grateful for that. Thanks for saving me, Miss Wisp. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I'm Windy Wisp, and there's somebody I need you to meet, Zozo.
Windy Wisp led me through the village until we found the biggest building in town. There was a Viking villager named Eric waiting outside for us.
Eric, I found one! A good devil golem, just like you said.
Eric seemed impressed.
Do my eyes deceive me? All this time, I thought creatures like you were a myth, but I was wrong.
Wait, I'm a little confused here. What do you mean, creatures like me?
Dark magic entities, devils, they all work in service of the Soul Eater, and until now, I believed that they had no choice in the matter. But you, Zozo, you have proven that it's possible for even devils to choose to be good.
But what does all this mean?
It means that you are a symbol of resistance, my boy. Perhaps, in these extremely important next 100 days, you can lead the charge to defeat him, once and for all. What do you say, Zozo? Do you accept the call?
Of course I do. Somebody's gotta teach that meanie some manners.
That's what I like to hear. Windy, take him to the plains to start building his base. His training must begin immediately.
Yes, Eric. Come on, Zozo, let's go.
On days 4 to 5, Windy Wisp teleported us to the plains, where we could start building an awesome base to sleep and train in.
We should start with some wood, Zozo. It's impossible to craft without having the right tools.
Very good point, Windy. I used my tough devil golem fists to break down some trees and gathered enough wooden blocks and sticks to craft myself a wooden pick. This is pretty cool, I guess, but I think we can do a lot better. Using my wooden pickaxe, I started mining and gathering up some stone and other materials for the house. After that, it was easy to make myself a set of stone weapons and tools. Hey, that's more like it. It's building time, baby. I used some of my gathered wood and stone to start putting together a nice mansion. Of course, it had bedrooms for both me and Windy Wisp, so we'd have places to sleep. She was so grateful for the help, she wanted to give me a gift.
This is a potion of strength, Zozo. I brewed it with my wisp magic, and I think drinking it will help you on your quest.
That's awesome, Wendy, thank you. I guess the only thing left to say is, bottoms up. I took a drink from the potion and immediately found myself getting bigger and stronger. I even gained 2 more hearts. 5 hearts? Nice! I'm moving up in the world. On day 6 to day 8, feeling a little more confident about myself with a base and my new size and hearts, I decided to wander the plains. Maybe if I search around enough, I can find something that'll help me get my memories back. But instead, I found something wild. A mage getting attacked by a Gru, a scary floating demon.
Excuse me, young devil golem. Can I get a little help here?
The name's Zozo, and help is on its way. I pulled out my stone sword and started attacking the Gru. My first real fight. How exciting! The Gru fought back and knocked off one of my hearts, but in the end, I managed to defeat it and save the mage from its wrath.
Thank goodness you turned up, Zozo. You really saved my bacon there. I don't know how I could ever repay you.
Oh, don't worry, mage. It's all in a day's work for me. I'm training to become a great hero and one day defeat the Soul Eater. So in the meantime, I'm happy to defeat any evildoer I can get my hands on.
In that case, would you mind helping me out with something else? You see, I came to this forest to slay a banshee that was scaring away some of the local villagers until this Gru started attacking me. Perhaps together we could defeat the wailing monster.
A banshee? Sure. How hard can it be?
Please promise me you won't make any more jokes like that, Zozo.
Oh, okay, sorry. On day 9 to day 10, Mage and I traveled to the forest to look for the banshee. How do you know when we're getting close?
Oh, you'll know.
I was about to ask him what he meant when I heard the loudest scream I'd ever heard. Let me guess, that's the banshee.
What was your first clue?
I wanted to make a joke, but before I could, a banshee came flying out of the trees, right towards us. It was shrieking all the way. I wanted to run, but I knew I had to be brave and stand by my new friend. I drew my stone sword and got ready for a fight. Mage and I tried our best, but the banshee was much stronger than I expected. It knocked me down, then knocked the mage into a tree, and I knew we were outmatched. Let's get out of here. We ran away from the banshee before it could do any more damage.
Dang, I was hoping the two of us together would be enough.
I guess I have to get stronger first. In the meantime, you can stay with me at my base. You'll be safe there.
Thank you.
On day 11 to day 12, I returned home with Mage. I made sure to build him a room there, including a crafting bench and a chest.
Thank you for the help and the hospitality, Zozo.
Absolutely. Now that we're somewhere safe and we can rest, I was wondering, do you know anything about the Soul Eater?
I know that he doesn't take kindly to his former employees leaving him for the side of good, which, as I understand, you did?
Apparently, and now he and his minions are hunting me.
Well, he's a nasty piece of work, and I don't know anyone who wouldn't like to see him finally taken out. If you need help, I'm on your side.
Thanks, and I'll help you too. Once I'm stronger, we'll get that banshee. After Mage and I talked, I built some bookcases for the base. Mage brought me a book to add to the bookcase, and I found an unbreakable enchantment inside. Great, this will make my weapons stronger. Thanks so much. To finish out the day, I built a chicken coop and herded some chickens into it. Finally satisfied with the job well done, Mage and I both turned in for the night to get some sleep. From day 13 to day 15, I wanted to find new ways to get stronger so I could help with the banshee and eventually defend myself against the Soul Eater. So I went to Wendy Wisp for some advice.
Well, I think getting more fighting experience is always a good way to get stronger. Maybe you should make a new weapon, too. Something you can use to fight from a distance.
Great idea! So I went out and gathered some wood and string and used them to craft myself a bow and arrow. Now it's time to take this thing out for a spin. I needed to try out my new weapon somewhere full of the biggest, baddest enemies possible. I know, I'll go to the Badlands. I ventured out to the Badlands and spotted Sudaramu, the giant scorpion, and one of the Soul Eater's minions, picking on a bunch of smaller scorpions. Hey, cut that out! As it turned to rush at me, I shot it with an arrow. It hit, and it actually did some damage. Awesome, Wendy was right. This thing is great. I fired some more arrows, and before I knew it, I defeated Sudaramu. The little scorpion scattered and ran away. A thank you would have been nice, but I didn't blame them for wanting to get out of there as fast as possible. Hey, looks like that giant scorpion dropped something. It was a subscribe to Zozo. Wow, I feel stronger and smarter already. I even gained 2 hearts. From day 16 to day 19, I decided to explore the area around the Badlands. I came across a cave I hadn't seen before. Cool, I wonder if there are any good materials in here. Once I entered the cave, however, I got a really bad feeling. Uh-oh, something isn't right here. Even though I was feeling nervous, I spotted a chest and decided to open it. It was full of netherite. Oh, cool! I've never seen this stuff before.
How'd you get in here? This cave belongs to the boss.
I was ambushed by a wildkin. Do you work for the Soul Eater?
That's right. You shouldn't have decided to come in here. Now you'll never leave.
He rushed me and started to attack, knocking me into the cave wall. I got him a few more times, and before long, I had managed to win the fight. Hey, wait a second. If this cave belongs to the Soul Eater, and it's full of netherite, I bet that means he's from the Nether. From day 20 to day 22, I started the journey back to my base. I couldn't wait to tell my friends about the battles I'd won while I was gone. On the way, I trained myself a little more on a group of spiders that attacked me. I defeated them easily. I really am getting stronger. After I defeated the spiders, I found some iron, which I made sure to pick up and take home with me. Once I made it back to the base, I smelted the iron and used it to craft some iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron shield. I finally feel ready to go back and face the Banshee again. Mage is going to be so excited. I traveled back to the forest where I first saw the Banshee. Just as I realized I was getting close, the Banshee flew at me and screamed. Luckily, I had my new armor to protect me. I pulled out my new iron sword and started swinging. This time, I'm ready for you. The Banshee kept swooping at me, but I was able to take the hits this time thanks to my new gear. Finally, I swung my sword for the last time and the Banshee dissolved and disappeared. I knew I had won. Something about this whole fight felt familiar too. I suddenly remembered. I had met this Banshee before, a long time ago. She worked for the Soul Eater too. We had worked together once, but I couldn't stand watching her attack innocent people just trying to walk through the woods. I've got to get back to my base and tell Mage about this. From day 23 to day 26, I tried to think and see if I could remember anything else from my days of working for the Soul Eater. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't. I rushed back home to my base, where Mage was waiting for me. I did it! I got rid of the Banshee!
That's great, Zozo. Thank you so much for your help.
So now that the Banshee's taken care of, I guess you'll probably head back to where you came from.
Nonsense! I'll stay here with you until the Soul Eater's defeated, once and for all. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Really? Awesome! After I talked to Mage, I gathered some stone and constructed a stone watchtower to keep my base more secure. I found some guster eyes and sand from a guster someone in the forest must have slain and quickly scooped them up. I used the items to craft a pocket of sand. I can use this to temporarily blind enemies. Finally, I built some walls around my base. Now this is looking really secure. From day 27 to 31, I decided to keep exploring and see what else I could learn about the Soul Eater and my bad old days working for him. My journey took me all the way to the beach. Wow, look at all the sun and sand and that beautiful ocean. I'd love to kick back and relax, but I don't have time for that right now. Gotta keep moving. As I was walking, I saw a horseshoe crab flipped over on its back. Hey, let me help you with that. I flipped him back over.
Gee, thanks so much, stranger.
Of course. Do you need a safe place to stay? You can always go to my base.
That sounds amazing.
I told them the way to go and sent them on their journey. Then I continued onward. Along the beach, I found a shark tooth. Neat, I can use this to craft shark tooth arrows. With my new materials, I headed back to my base. Once I was there, I put up some decorative banners to make the place feel more festive for the new residents. Pretty spiffy if I do say so myself.
Sorry to interrupt your decorating, Zozo, but I need some help. Eric's in trouble. His village is under attack.
Oh no, there's no time to waste. Let's go right now. From day 32 to day 35, Wendy and I rushed to the village to see what was going on. We arrived to find the place in ruins, filled with reavers making trouble.
Oh no, they work for the Soul Eater. This is terrible.
Luckily, we're here to help. I took out my bow and started firing arrows at the reavers, taking them out one by one. I was doing my best, but I definitely needed some help. Thankfully, Eric came running up to join the fight. I was so busy fending off the reaver who was attacking me that I didn't notice two reavers sneaking up behind Eric. By the time I noticed, it was too late. They both swarmed him and knocked him down. He didn't get back up. Eric, no! I rushed up and defeated the reavers that knocked him down, but Eric was already gone. There was no time to mourn. I had to take down the rest of the reavers. I finished up the fight and looked at the wreckage of the village. I couldn't save him.
You did your best, Zozo. Don't blame yourself. Blame that evil Soul Eater.
From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get my mind off of what happened to Eric, so I ventured out to the desert for a change of scenery. As I was walking through the sandy landscape, a little neck ran up to me. I pulled out my sword and got ready for a fight, but he was friendly.
Hey, whoa, buddy. I don't want any trouble. I heard you were the guy to ask for help around here.
I sure am. What is it?
I need help defeating a crypt keeper that took over the cave I was living in. Can you do it?
You bet! I headed to the cave and saw the Crypt Keeper lurking near the entrance. I fired an arrow at him and caught him by surprise. The rest of the fight went pretty quick, and I returned to tell that neck everything was okay now.
Thanks so much. Say, you're trying to take on the Soul Eater, aren't you?
I am. Do you know anything about him?
Only that he's from the Nether.
I thought so. Thank you. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to my base from the desert. This place could use a little sprucing up. I decided to add some couches to give all my friends more places to sit and hang out. That looks much better. After I finished with the couches, the horseshoe crab I helped on the beach came to talk to me.
Thanks for giving me somewhere to stay. I've been really lonely since my friends moved to the forest. Hey, maybe they could come stay here too. Would that be okay?
Sure, I don't see why not. I built some additional rooms for the extra crabs, then headed out into the forest to find them. It was pretty easy to spot crabs in a forest, so I tracked them down and invited them to the base. They were excited to come stay with us.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I'm sorry to ask for something else, but could you help me out? There's some mutant zombies making trouble out in the mountains, and I don't know any other hero who could help get rid of them.
No trouble at all. I'll get to it. From day 44 to day 49, I arrived in the mountains. Okay, mutant zombies, where are you hiding? Foolish Zozo, the mutant zombies are long gone. These mountains are my territory now. The Soul Eater jumped down from the top of a mountain, landing with a crash.
Did you think you could hide from me? I told you we were coming for you. No one walks away from working for me, not without consequences. I'll destroy everything you love and make you regret leaving.
I don't even remember working for you.
Doesn't matter. I'll destroy your base and eliminate all your little friends. Then you'll have no choice but to be my minion again.
Never! I drew my sword and got ready for a fight, but the Soul Eater disappeared in a puff of smoke. In his place, he left behind a huge, strong Reaper. Uh-oh. Well, time to see how strong I really am. From day 50 to day 53, I battled against the Reaper. He was much bigger than me, but I had something he didn't, my trusty bow. I ran backwards to get some distance between us so he couldn't land any blows, and I started firing arrows at him. That was the advantage I needed to turn the fight into my favor. I'm a much better fighter now. Finally, the Reaper fell, and I knew I had won, and he dropped something. What's this? I picked it up, and it was a book of secrets. Wow, I wonder what secrets this has.
You're the only minion I've ever shown my secret hideout. The only other place I have the location is written down in my book of secrets.
You've got it, boss. That's right, I saw his secret hideout. I can't believe I forgot. From day 54 to day 57, I ventured through the plains on my way back to the base. There, I saw a horde of mutant zombies. This must be where they went when the Soul Eater drove them out of the mountains. I pulled out my bow and sword and got ready to attack. Hey, you undead freaks! I shot an arrow their way. As they turned their attention on me, even more mutant zombies came up behind me and attacked. Uh-oh, there are more of these guys than I thought. The fight was much harder than I expected. For a little bit, I was worried I might actually lose and never get the chance to beat the Soul Eater. But with the help of my trusty bow and sword, I was able to turn things around and take out all the mutant zombies. One of them dropped a potion of regeneration on the ground. I quickly picked it up. This will definitely come in handy when I go up against the Soul Eater. Time to head home. I drank the potion and transformed into a full-sized golem. I even gained 3 hearts to a total of 10. I traveled back to the base and told the horseshoe crab that the mutant zombies were toast.
Yay! I love toast.
It's just an expression. It means they're gone.
You're the best, Zozo.
Just doing my job.
Job? Wait a minute. You used to work for the Soul Eater. You helped him steal materials from villages near the beach.
Oh no, I don't remember any of that. Well, I'll have to do whatever I can to make amends for my past. I hope defeating the Soul Eater will be enough.
You're definitely nothing like you used to be.
You're a hero now. From day 58 to day 62, I decided to improve the food situation at the base. I built more chicken coops and herded some chickens inside. That's more like it. That should help keep everyone fed. Next, I decided it was time to upgrade my gear. Time to find more diamonds. I went exploring in the mines and dug as deep as I could until I finally saw them. Beautiful, sparkly, strong as heck diamonds. I took them back to my base and got to work crafting some diamond armor, diamond tools, and a diamond sword. I'd like to see someone try to mess with me now. Before I set off on my next journey, I decided to improve the base a little more. I built some chests for extra storage and added some flower pots for an extra decorative touch, too. This place is looking better every day. From day 63 to day 66, I decided it was time to venture out into the world beyond my base and explore some more. On the way out, I ran into Wendy the Wisp.
Zozo, I was looking for you.
What's up?
I had a dream about you. I think it might mean something. I saw you in the middle of a snowy tundra. Maybe there's something out there that will help you.
Wow, maybe. I'll definitely go check it out. With this new clue in mind, I headed out into the snowy tundra. Brr, it's cold out here. I hope I can find something helpful fast so I can get out of here and warm up. As I walked, I saw a Yeti watching me. Hey you, I don't want any trouble.
Neither do I.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I was scared you might be here working for the Soul Eater. He's got it in for me, and I'm getting pretty scared.
Oh no, I don't work for him. Not anymore, at least.
Can you help me find a way to keep myself safe? I really don't know what to do.
Absolutely. Let's see what we can find. From day 67 to day 70, the Yeti and I explored the snowy tundra looking for clues or items that could help us. As we walked past an ice cave, a sylph came flying out at us. Everywhere I look, it's another thing. It's not easy trying to be good.
What do we do?
We have to be brave and fight. The sylph rushed at us and started attacking, but I was ready with my sword and shield. The sylph swooped at me, but I blocked its hit and slashed with my sword. I got a few good hits in before it swooped at the Yeti instead. Leave him alone. Pick on someone your own size. I rushed at the sylph and knocked it away from the defenseless Yeti, then delivered the finishing blow. Yeah, that's what happens when you mess with my new friend.
I just wish I had a way to fight for myself when the bad guys come after me. What will I do next time without you here to help?
I'm sure we'll find something. Wait a second, look at this. The sylph dropped something when we defeated it. I picked it up and handed it to the Yeti. An iron sword. Here, Yeti, you take this. It'll help you defend yourself if the Soul Eater's minions come to bother you.
Are you sure? Gee, thanks so much. You're right. You're not like the Soul Eater's minions at all. You're nice.
I'm trying my best.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, and I bet it'll all work out. Thanks for your help. I feel much more prepared for whatever comes my way next.
From day 71 to day 74, I said goodbye to the Yeti, then decided to keep exploring this cold area. I was getting pretty used to it. Now that the ice cave didn't have the sylph lurking in it anymore, I wanted to see what was inside. The cave led down into some huge ice caverns. Whoa, look at all of this! As I walked, I saw the strangest thing. There, on the wall of the cave, was written the words, "Make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up the adventures. And be sure to find more Zozo videos by searching Zo. Huh, weird. Oh well, time to keep looking. Just then, the Soul Eater busted through the subscribe sign in front of me.
Ready to come back and work for me yet?
Ah, you? No, I'll never work for you again. I'm a good guy now.
We'll see how good you are when you don't have any of your little friends. Just you wait. You'll come back. They always come back.
Not me. I'll take you down if you hurt my friends. The Soul Eater just laughed.
Try to beat me, and it will spell your doom. I'll be in touch.
Not so fast. I couldn't let him get away that easily. I drew my sword and ran at him, and he drew his weapon with lightning speed. He was ready for me, and he blocked my first hit, then knocked me back. It was a hard hit. Ow! Uh-oh, I might not be strong enough yet.
You'll never be strong enough. You'll always be my lackey, no matter what.
I wanted to stay and fight, but I knew I needed to flee if I wanted to live another day and eventually beat him. I had no choice but to run away before things got too scary. I'll show him. I'll get even stronger, and I'll prove that he can't keep pushing people around. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back home to my base. I needed to do something to take my mind off that face-off with the Soul Eater, and fixing up the base was the perfect way to do it. Making this place cozier would make me feel better. So I built a fireplace and lit a big roaring fire inside. Finally, I can warm up after all that time in the snow. Once the fireplace was finished, I sat down next to it and got comfortable. While I was lounging by the fire, the horseshoe crab came over to say hello.
This looks great. I love the fireplace.
Thanks. What's up?
I wanted to give you something. As a thank you for everything you've done to help me and others who found themselves in trouble.
He handed me a baked potato. I was getting pretty hungry.
That's no ordinary baked potato. It's a magic baked potato. I think it'll help you get stronger.
Oh, wow. I thought regular potatoes were already pretty magical, but that's even better. I took a bite, and it tasted great. I mean, it was a potato. Of course it did. I quickly ate the whole thing. Then, I felt myself growing bigger and stronger. I gained 5 hearts. You weren't kidding. I feel great.
You look powerful as the Soul Eater.
I sure hope so. Thank you so much. That was an amazing gift. From day 79 to day 84, I decided to test out my new strength on some hostile mobs. Let's see what this new, bigger me is made of. I ventured all the way out to the savannah to see what I could find. There were a ton of skeletons roaming around, and when they saw me, they started closing in around me. Maybe I'd be scared of you back when I was smaller, but now I'm ready to fight. It hardly took me any time at all to beat the skeletons. Take that, you boneheads. After I finished with the skeletons, I was walking around when I spotted a lion curled up on a rock. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. I promise I'm not lying. I laughed at my own joke. The lion looked confused, but then he laughed too. I love jokes. How did you know? I love jokes too. I'm so glad you appreciate a sense of humor. My sense of humor is my pride and joy. Get it? Pride? Like lions? I do get it. Nice one. It's so nice to meet someone who knows how to laugh. You know what? Why don't you take this? I don't need it. And maybe it'll be of some use to you. A crossbow? Thanks. Right on target then? Yeah! From day 85 to day 89, I returned back to my base to show off my crossbow and tell everyone about the hilarious lion I met. When I got there though, it was in chaos. There were wargs attacking my base and tearing it apart. They smashed my flower pots and tore down my banners. If you fools touch my fireplace, I'll freak out. And then I saw it. They had smashed my fireplace. That's the last straw. Get out of my base, or there's more where that came from. I didn't want to destroy them though. I wanted to know where they came from. So when they started to run away, I chased after them. But I lost track of them when I followed them through the forest. Oh no, which way did they go? As I was looking, I ran into a black bear.
The wargs? I can point you their way.
That would be great.
Just help me first and I'll tell you where they went. Get me some honey. I've got a craving, but I don't have any money. No pockets, so I have nowhere to put it.
Oh, okay, sure. I searched until I found a beehive. Please don't sting me, bees. I quickly snagged some honeycomb, which I took back to the bear. Here you go.
Yum. Okay, they went that way.
Wait, couldn't you have just gone to the beehive the whole time?
Yeah, but they might have stung me. This worked much better.
I didn't have time to argue with this weird bear. I ran after the wargs. From day 90 to day 94, I ran in the direction that the bear pointed me in. I followed the trail until I finally reached the wargs, gathered together in a lair made of bones.
I see you finally made it. Come, let's talk.
I looked and saw a shade standing at the entrance of the bone lair. I followed him down into the lair. You were waiting for me?
I was. The boss wants me to teach you a lesson. Make sure you finally learn your place. You think you're too good for the Soul Eater? You're wrong.
I'm stronger now. I can take you.
I'm the Soul Eater's second in command. You won't stand a chance.
I ignored his Hans and rushed him with my sword. Less talking, more fighting. I swung my sword, but he blocked it, and he knocked me back. Hard. Uh-oh, he's strong. This is gonna be my hardest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the Shade. I could see why he was the Soul Eater's top henchman. He was really tough. Definitely the toughest of his minions I had fought so far. Then, I realized I needed to get some distance from him. I ran back and got my crossbow, then started firing. It was just the advantage I needed. Using a combination of my crossbow and then my sword once he was weak enough for me to get close, I finally finished the shade off. I did it! When the shade collapsed, it dropped a map to the nether portal. This is just what I need. I already knew where to go once I reached the nether, but now I know how to get there. The side of the map triggered a flashback.
You have to do it, Zozo.
No, stealing was one thing, but I don't want to hurt anyone. I won't help you burn down the village.
They defied me. You would defy me too?
If it means I don't have to hurt anyone, then yes, I quit. That was it. That was what made me stop working for the Soul Eater. I wasn't bad. I made the choice to be good. I have to defeat him and stop him from ever hurting anyone else again. Then he'll see that not only am I a good guy now, but good always wins. I'll make the Soul Eater eat his words. On day 98, I returned and found the home was fully fixed by my friends, and I could prepare for battle right away. Only a few days left before the Soul Eater expects me to be dead meat. I'll have to be ready for him. As I was working on gathering diamonds and upgrading some more of my weapons, Wendy the Wisp came up to see me.
Zozo, I made this for you.
She handed me shark tooth arrows, crafted from the shark tooth I found. This is amazing, thank you.
Good luck. I know you can do it.
Next, Mage came to see me.
I wasn't so sure about you when we first met, but I've watched you grow so strong and capable. You're going to beat the Soul Eater. I just know it.
The horseshoe crab visited me next.
I'm so happy that I met you. You're a hero, through and through.
I hope you're right. Then a cake was brought out, and I knew everyone was sending me their best luck. There weren't any candles to blow out, but I made a wish anyway. I wish to do my best. On day 99, I made my way through the forest, carefully following the instructions on the map, until I reached the nether portal. But it definitely didn't make me feel good to see that the portal was being guarded by a vicious gang of Krakes that must have been working for the Soul Eater too. Why do so many people work for this guy? Does he just have really good dental or something? I was trying to figure out what I should do when the solution came right towards me. It was my friend, the Yeti, with his iron sword. Yeti, I never expected to see you here.
You changed my life, Zozo. Since we met, and you taught me to stand up for myself. I've been traveling around, helping people out too. And now, I can do the same for you. Let me distract those Krakes. That meanie, the Soul Eater, he's all yours.
Without another word, the now brave and strong Yeti ran in and started battling the Krakes. It gave me the perfect opportunity to run up to the nether portal and jump right in. On day 100, I burst into the nether, ready to battle. My memories were starting to come back to me. I knew that the Soul Eater would be hiding in a nether fortress near here, amongst all that scary fire and lava. You can't hide, Soul Eater. I'm coming for you. I ran into the nether fortress.
Remember that feeling, Zozo? Getting a little deja vu? We fought here once before, when you first started with all those silly notions about quitting. I hit you so hard you forgot who you were. This time, I'm gonna hit you so hard, you won't get up at all.
Big talk, Soul Eater, but my memories are coming back. I worked for you for years. I know all your tricks, and I know who I am. I'm Zozo, and I'm a hero.
Once a devil golem, always a devil golem.
Let's just see about that. I tried to pull out my crossbow and get a lock on him, but he was too fast. He got up in my face, and I didn't have time to draw one of my weapons. We were about to throw down, hand to hand.
You know, Zozo, to begin with, I wanted to get you back. Now, I'm going to fire you!
And he meant that literally, because he tried to push me into one of the many nether fire pits. If I hadn't dodged, I'd be done for. You can't fire me, Soul Eater. I quit. I fought back, unleashing my full force and applying all the knowledge and strength I'd gained over these past 100 days. I kept attacking, kept forcing him back, not even giving him time to strike back. Soon enough, he was exhausted and standing right on the edge of the lava sea. The Soul Eater knew he'd been defeated.
But you can't push me in, right, Zozo? Because you're a hero now, and pushing someone into lava isn't what heroes do.
I guess you were right about one thing, Soul Eater. Once a devil golem, always a devil golem.
No!
With one more strike, the Soul Eater fell back into the lava and he was gone forever. I was finally free.
On day 1, I spawned into the deep dark forest as a skeleton dragon, one of the coolest and spookiest kinds of dragons there is. Well, I guess I'm more of a baby skeleton dragon. I must have just come out of the skeleton altar. That's gotta be why I only have 3 hearts. And what's this in my inventory? A void worm eye? What would I use that for? That's when I saw a skeleton horse riding out of the trees towards me. For some reason, she looked worried.
What are you doing here, baby skeleton dragon?
I just got here. My name's Zozo. What's going on?
It's dangerous to be in this forest at night. We need to get out of here.
Before I could ask any more questions, I saw shadows in the dark between the trees. And suddenly, I felt uneasy.
Zozo, we have to leave. Now! Mr. Dark is here.
Mr. Dark? Who's Mr.? A tall, shadowy figure appeared in the trees behind us. At first, all I could see was his glowing purple eyes.
No need to run away. Why don't you come with me, little ones? I'll take you to Playland. We'll have toys and games and candy. I just know you're going to love it.
I knew in my dragon bones I couldn't trust this man. He creeped me out just standing near him. So me and the skeleton horse ran away as fast as we could.
You can run, little ones, but I'll take you all to Playland soon.
We took refuge in a nearby cave to wait out the rest of the night, worried Mr. Dark might find us at any moment. What's your name, skeleton horse?
Sally. I'm Sally the Skeleton Horse.
Thanks for the save, Sally. On day 2, Sally the skeleton horse and I emerged from the cave with the sun shining high up above.
We're safer during the daytime. I've only ever seen Mr. Dark under the moonlight.
We decided, with a little less pressure on us, to start exploring the rest of the forest. It definitely wasn't so scary with the sun shining in through the trees. Maybe we should collect some apples.
That's a good idea, Zozo. A skeleton horse is still a horse, and I love apples.
We happily collected apples until a huge shape came lumbering out of the dark. It was a skeleton dragon, a huge adult skeleton dragon with black bones. Oh wow! Hey, Mr. Skeleton Dragon, I'm Zozo, and I'm one of your kind. The adult skeleton dragon seemed relieved to see me.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been looking for you everywhere. I'm in terrible trouble, and I need the help of another skeleton dragon. I just didn't expect you to be so small.
I may be small, but I've got a big heart. How can I help you?
A friend of mine, the blue skeleton dragon, was taken by something. Some tall, shadowy entity, and I need help in getting him back.
That sounds just like Mr. Dark.
He terrorized us too, but don't worry, we'll help you get your friend back from Mr. Dark no matter what.
Thank you, Zozo, and friend. For now, I must go. Stay safe.
The adult skeleton dragon flew away, leaving me and Sally alone. It was time to work on our first base, so we started breaking down trees and collecting sticks and wood. I was able to build a crafting bench and made my first set of wooden tools and weapons. These would be perfect for my first base. We found a clearing in the forest and started building ourselves a humble wooden shack with one bed and a stable outside. But all the while, Sally looked a little concerned. What's wrong, Sally?
That's skeleton dragon's friend. We better work hard at getting him back. Mr. Dark only keeps people at Playland for 100 days. After that, well, you don't want to know.
And she was right. I really didn't. On day 3, I was wandering through the forest looking for apples to eat and more supplies that I could use to upgrade my base. Nothing like fresh air and a walk to make a morning happy and healthy. But during my walk, I saw a hulking figure behind the trees, a mutant skeleton. He looked big and a little scary, so when he turned around and looked at me, I ran for the hills. Not today, mutant skeleton. I returned to my base, where I felt a lot safer and started mining into a nearby hill to gather some stone. Then I made my first set of stone tools, a stone sword, and even started building a sturdy stone wall around my base. But as I was building my wall, I was suddenly approached by an angry-looking gang of rogue tomatoes. They somehow looked both silly and like they meant business.
Don't you laugh at us, bub, or I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich with extra ketchup, you hear?
Those were fighting words, so I decided it was time to give my brand new stone sword some action. If it's a tussle you want, it's a tussle you'll get, tomatoes! I fought them all, making short work of them with my stone sword. And after their defeat, one of them dropped a milk bucket.
guess I'll just keep this in case it comes in handy. That's when I looked up and noticed it was getting dark. I'd need to finish the wall another day. I definitely didn't want to get stuck outside while Mr. Dark was on the prowl. Instead, I went back to my bedroom and got a good night's sleep. On days 4 and 5, I woke up to the sound of Sally the skeleton horse entering my room. Hey Sally, what's up?
Zozo, I noticed you brought back a milk bucket last night. You should drink it. Milk contains calcium, and calcium is good for your bones. It's the perfect way for a skeleton dragon to get stronger.
That sounded like a great idea. So I chugged the milk and immediately found myself getting stronger. I grew to a big, tougher form with 6 hearts rather than 3. This is more like it. I'm gonna go take a walk in my new form.
I'll finish up the wall while you're out.
So that's what I did. But this time, I didn't want to just walk through the forest. I went all the way to the desert so I could feel the heat on my bones. Sun and skeletons go together like peanut butter and jelly. I turned and saw a wither skeleton further out into the desert. He seemed to be fishing in a pond. I couldn't believe how many friendly skeletons I was running into these days. I made my way over the small hill to him.
Enjoying the sun, fellow skeleton?
Want to come back to my base and hang out with me and my horse friend, Mr. Wither Skeleton? We're putting together a group to help save an innocent skeleton dragon from an evil man.
Sounds good to me, brother. Let's boogie.
The Wither Skeleton and I traveled back to the base together, and we came back just in time because a big, angry Ravager was trying to break down my defensive wall. Uh-oh. Want to help me run off this nasty customer, Wither Skeleton?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
With the both of us ready to fight, the Ravager was outmanned. We didn't manage to defeat it, but it did run away. By then, it was already almost nightfall. We needed to get some sleep in case Mr. Dark came out looking for us. I installed a second bed in my cabin, as well as some more furniture, and invited the Wither Skeleton to come stay with us.
Sounds good to me, brother. Sleepover time.
On days 6 through 8, me and the Wither Skeleton went out into the forest and collected some more yummy apples. But that wasn't all we were looking for. We found the same cave that Sally and I had hidden in the first night I arrived here. It's mining time. And then I mined all over that cave. It didn't take me long to find enough iron and coal to smell myself some new weapons and tools. Iron weapons, iron tools, I'm really moving up in the world. After leaving the cave with our loot and returning to the forest, we were suddenly ambushed by the same Ravager, looking for revenge. Be ready to fight, Wither Skeleton. This won't be easy.
I was born ready, Zozo.
But sadly, he wasn't actually born ready. That Ravager was way stronger than we thought. We fought the Ravager until it was defeated, but the Wither Skeleton was destroyed in the process. Wither Skeleton, no, I'll never forget you. He dropped his hat, which I decided to take with me. He had also dropped a flint and steel, a useful item for lighting fires. On the way back to my base, I encountered a soul vulture hanging out amongst the trees. Hey, Mr. Soul Vulture, wanna come back to my base? I figure us Bone Brothers should stick together.
Is it cozy?
The coziest in all the forest.
Well, I can hardly say no to that, can I?
The Soul Vulture came back to my base with me, where I built him his own room. I also used some of my excess iron to create an iron golem to guard the base. Now I can sleep a little easier. On days 9 to 10, I was woken up in the middle of the night by something scratching my window. I looked up and saw Mr. Dark, his bright purple eyes staring in through my window. He was so creepy, I could barely stand it. Mr. Dark, how did you get past my guard wall and my iron golem? Mr. Dark gave a creepy little giggle.
I can go anywhere I want, at any time I want, Zozo. No walls are too high, no trenches are too deep, and no golem is too strong. If I wanted to, I could open your door and walk into your bedroom right now.
Then why don't you?
Because where'd be the fun in that? Silly little dragon boy, you'll choose to come to Playland with me. I just know you will, and you'll have a wonderful time. I'll be keeping my eye on you, Zozo. I'll come back when you least expect it, and then you'll be all mine.
Then he disappeared, and I couldn't get back to sleep for the rest of the night. On days 11 through 12, still feeling shaken up from my encounter with Mr. Dark the night before, I decided to build some base improvements. I made the wall taller and started digging a trench around the outside of the wall, so the only way to get in or out would be the front gate, guarded by my iron golem. This should keep that nasty midnight creep away. After my work was done, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a suggestion.
Zozo, you should train yourself and get stronger by visiting new biomes. How about a trip to the beach?
Yeah, I could use a trip to the beach after a week like this. I made my way to the beach with Sally for a mixture of relaxation and hardcore strength training. And it didn't take long for us to need it, because a bunch of angry iron chickens started attacking us.
We're the iron chicken muggers, and believe us, we can be pretty foul. So you better hand over all your bucks.
Thankfully, with Sally and I working together, we were able to defeat the iron chicken muggers and keep all of our hard-earned money.
This kind of thing is exactly why I hate chickens.
We kept exploring until we found another skeleton friend, a skeleton deer. So of course, I invited her back to my base.
Gee, thanks. I'd love a new place to stay. I've been getting tired of all this sand.
The skeleton deer followed us back to the base, where I built her a new section of the stable to sleep in.
This is so comfy. Thanks, Zozo.
Don't mention it, skeleton deer.
And by the way, I saw you fighting the iron chickens. You were good, but if you want to get better, I recommend seeking out the necromancer. He can mentor you to greatness.
The necromancer? That sounds like a plan. On days 13 to 15, I left my base and began searching the forest for the necromancer. I'm sick of being afraid and hiding away when the bad guys come. I want to be strong enough to be brave and fight back. But it turned out I was talking to myself a little too loudly because an angry stone monster came running at me through the woods. Uh-oh, sorry about the noise. I'm guessing we can't just talk this out. He did not want to talk it out. Instead, he chased me and I ran as fast as I could on my skeleton dragon legs, but he was faster. Oh no, oh no. But just as he was about to catch me, something burst out of the tree line as quick as a flash. It was the mutant skeleton I'd run away from earlier. He pulled out his bow and easily defeated the stone monster, really saving my bones. Thank you, mutant skeleton. I'm so sorry for running away earlier. I guess I learned a valuable lesson about judging on appearances.
No problem, Zozo. I know I can look a little scary sometimes, but really, I'm out here trying to help.
Wanna come and stay at my base for a while? I'm putting together a team.
I'd love to, but there's too much work to do protecting people out here. Perhaps I'll drop in for a visit sometime, though.
Me and the mutant skeleton went our separate ways, and I continued searching for the fabled necromancer until I saw a gremlin hopping around, looking clearly distressed. What's wrong, little gremlin?
I'm in trouble, man. These, nasty jungle spiders have been chasing me all day, and I'm worried they're gonna get me.
Stand back, little gremlin. This sounds like a job for Zozo. With my trusty sword, I found that nasty swarm of jungle spiders and took them out before returning to the gremlin.
Whoa, Zozo, you're like a real hero. That was awesome.
No problem, little gremlin. Say, you know where I might be able to find a necromancer?
Oh, the necromancer. You'll find him in the west of here. Keep heading in that direction, and you're sure to meet him.
Thank you, Gremlin. That's exactly what I needed to hear. For days 16 to 19, I began my journey west in search of the necromancer, until I heard a terrible crashing noise coming from the distance behind me. It sounded like it was coming from my base. I immediately turned tail and ran all the way back, only to see that my defensive wall had been destroyed, and a dangerous zombie taiga was attacking my base. What are you doing, you meanie?
It's nothing personal, kid. Mr. Dark told me to do this. If I don't hurt you, he'll hurt me. That's just the way it is.
I turned and saw something awful. He'd already destroyed the skeleton deer and the soul vulture. Sally, the skeleton horse, was my only companion left. That's it. You're going down. I pulled out my sword and attacked the zombie taiga, but it seemed like he deflected the hits without any effort. He was almost unstoppable.
That was just embarrassing. If you couldn't defeat me, you'll have no hope against Mr. Dark. I'm out of here.
And with that, the zombie taiga fled, leaving me in the ruins of my base with two of my friends. Gone! I feel useless, like I can't protect anyone. That's when a gang of mossy skeletons turned up They looked frightened and said they'd heard I'd been offering other skeletons a place to stay. Of course you can stay here, new buddies, but I'm gonna need to make a few renovations first. I built a new barracks on the side of my base for the mossy skeletons to live in. They seemed quite happy with their new place, and I took the time to rebuild some of the defenses that the zombie taiga destroyed. But I can't just defend my base. I need to be able to defend myself too. I mined for more iron and coal until I had everything I needed to smelt myself a new set of iron armor. I may have lost a battle, but I wouldn't lose the war! On days 20 to 22, I left my base to search for some statue building materials. After all, a cool statue is great for inspiring everyone to do their best. But on my way out to mine some stone, I was ambushed by a green troll with an axe to grind. Well, more specifically, he had a giant fist. I've got no interest in feeding any trolls today. With my sword at the ready, we engaged in a tense duel. Thankfully, with my new iron armor, I was able to withstand his attacks and defeat him. Iron and bone beats flesh. Afterwards, I traveled further through the forest until I stumbled upon a desert with the remains of a giant skeleton. Whoa, this is perfect for building a cool statue, and I know exactly what I'll make with them. I started mining the ribs one by one, making sure I didn't fall into the pools of lava. By the end of it, I had all the bone blocks I'd ever need. On the way back, I encountered a herd of wild sheep grazing and decided I'd tame them and lead them back to the base, because you never know when some wool will come in handy. When we reached the base, I made a new, fenced-off section where the sheep could graze and be left to their own devices. And with that out of the way, it was time to start statue building. Laying down the base is one of the most important parts, so the statue doesn't just tumble over. Can you guess what the statue is gonna be yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the forest to search for the necromancer. I needed his teachings to help me get stronger and defeat Mr. Dark. While wandering through the woods, I got attacked by a nasty gang of rotten rats. They tried to bite me and give me some nasty diseases. When it comes to rats versus skeleton dragons, rats don't win. I defeated the last of them with my iron sword and continued searching. On the way, I ran into a wither skeleton jockey riding a spider. He reminded me of the wither skeleton who used to be my friend. Hey, Mr. Wither skeleton jockey, wanna come back and stay at my base?
Nice offer, but no thanks. There are some evil things lurking in these woods, and I've learned not to trust anyone. Maybe some other time.
All right, suit yourself. Stay safe out there. It felt like the day had been a total waste as I journeyed further into the forest. But just as I was ready to give up, I saw the necromancer himself, sitting on a rock and meditating. No way! The necromancer! Is it really you?
Those who seek me will find me, little skeleton dragon. And I assume you've been seeking me.
I have. I want you to mentor me and help me become more powerful.
Well, young dragon, with great power comes great... Well, you have to have a good reason to have great power. So, what is your reason?
I don't need it for myself. I need it to defeat Mr. Dark and save everyone he's captured.
That, little dragon, is a good reason. Your training begins now.
For days 27 to 31, the necromancer gave me my first challenge.
To defeat an entity as evil and spooky as Mr. Dark, you need to learn to conquer your fear. It's okay to be afraid, Zozo, but true courage is knowing that there are some things you must do, even if they make you feel afraid.
What would you have me do, Master Necromancer?
Do you see that nearby cave? It contains a monster. I want you to go in there and defeat it to help gain control of your fear. If you complete this first challenge, I'll give you a reward.
I believe in myself. I can do it.
Good, and you can take this bat to help you. It will freeze your opponents for 3 seconds. May it come in handy.
I took the necromancer's bat and went into the cave. It was dark and scary, and I could feel myself getting nervous, but I took deep breaths and kept going. I needed to strengthen my courage to defeat Mr. Dark. The deeper parts of the cave weren't any better, only some lichen and mushrooms giving off faint light. Suddenly, a scary, growling soul eater leaped out of the darkness toward me, ready to attack. I stayed calm and hit the creature with my bat, studying it. I'd passed the test. Okay, now it's time to get out of here. On days 32 to 35, my new mentor rewarded me for passing the first challenge by giving me a potion of strength. I immediately drank it and felt myself getting bigger and tougher. This training was really paying off. I have to be at least twice the size I once was. This whole thing made me feel so happy, I decided I'd go back to my base and tell the mossy skeletons and Sally the skeleton horse about my victory. And on the way, I encountered the Wither skeleton jockey that I'd met a few days before. Hey, jockey! Have you had any second thoughts about coming to my base?
Well, now that you mention it, I have been getting some eerie vibes lately. Maybe we should stick together after all.
But those eerie vibes didn't come from nothing. Neither of us noticed it, but the day had gotten away from us. The sun was going down, and the night was upon us. That's when Mr. Dark himself came creeping out of the trees.
Ooh, new friends. I'll take you to Playland with me. We'll have so much fun.
He grabbed the Wither skeleton jockey with his long, spindly arms.
Zozo, help me. I'm being kidnapped.
But I couldn't help him. Mr. Dark was too fast and too strong, and all I could do was run. My base may have been the only place that was safe at night. On the way back, I encountered an ancient spirit villager who started chasing me, and I was too afraid to even fight him. I just ran away. All that training, useless. I don't know if I'll ever be able to defeat Mr. Dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up and took the jockey Spider to the stable when I heard noise coming from my front gate. I made my way over to see a familiar face waiting outside of my base. It was the same zombie taiga who attacked my base and destroyed Soul Vulture and Skeleton Deer. This time, he's going down. I ran out, ready to fight. This time, I had full iron armor, so the zombie taiga's attacks weren't nearly as strong.
What sorcery is this? Mr. Dark told me you'd be easy to defeat. This isn't fair.
With the help of my new strength and the bat that the necromancer had given me, I defeated the zombie taiga and avenged my fallen friends. Speaking of friends, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a wonderful idea.
Zozo, we should make our way to the Stone Shores. I've heard that some of the friendlies over there have created some awesome upgrades.
Oh really? Then there's no time to waste. We hightailed it over to the Stone Shores, where we saw an innocent skeleton being hassled by an ogre. We couldn't let that stand. Get away from that skelly! Sally and I charged in, and that was enough to scare the ogre away. He seemed thankful and gave us 2 rewards, the knockback upgrade, which increased the power of my weapons, and a treasure map. You hear that, Sally? We can use this to search for buried treasure.
Now that sounds like a cool adventure to me, Zozo. Let's do it.
For days 40 to 43, Sally and I followed the map until we arrived in the warm, dusty Badlands. We were getting a little nervous because it was almost nightfall. We were right about that, but we didn't consider that Mr. Dark might send his minions to do the job for him.
Look out, Zozo! Some night apparitions are coming straight towards us.
Sally was right. 3 big, scary night apparitions. I pulled out my sword, now with increased knockback, and fought them off. They were tough, but luckily, Sally and I made a good team, and we were able to defeat 2 of the 3. The last one escaped to fight another day. Let's keep going, Sally. According to this map, we're really close to finding the buried treasure. Soon enough, we found an area of the ground with a big red X marked on it.
Don't they always say X marks the spot, Zozo? Let's start digging.
We mined down into the ground until we found a buried chest. And inside, there were a whole bunch of rubies. This is awesome! I know exactly what I'm going to use them for. On days 44 to 49, I continued my work on the statue. It was really coming along now. Can you see what I'm making now? I bet you can't guess. But while I was working on my statue, I saw a trader on a horse making his way through the forest near my base and decided to strike up a conversation. Hey, Mr. Trader, got anything cool on offer?
It's your lucky day, dear customer, because I'm actually doing a 2-for-1 special on netherite ingots today. It's a rare and very valuable material. Perfect for a skeleton dragon like you.
That sounds so cool. How much?
I only take payment in emeralds. But don't worry, if you haven't got any, you can always raid the emerald mines of Alonia near here. They got abandoned by the workers when the boss decided not to pay them enough, so all the emeralds were left for the taking.
I really wanted those netherite ingots, even though I didn't really know what I'd use them for. So I journeyed to the mines and collected as many emeralds as I could from underground. Netherite City? Here I come! I traveled back to my base and made the trade. The trader gave me my 2 netherite ingots and rode off.
Pleasure doing business with you, Zozo.
But I didn't have long to enjoy my fancy new ingots. As night fell, the 3rd and final night apparition came back for revenge, and I needed to run out beyond the wall to take it on. You guys don't know when to quit, do you? Soon enough, I defeated the night apparition, but it made me realize that my base needed better defenses. If these monsters in Mr. Dark mainly come out at night, maybe they hate the light. Perhaps adding some torches to my wall would help ward them off. On days 50 to 53, I realized something horrible. The night apparition attack had just been a distraction, while someone else had sneaked into the stable and kidnapped Sally the skeleton horse. I ran to my mentor, the necromancer, deep in the forest, and asked him where Mr. Dark's forces may have taken my best friend.
Well, Zozo, I hate to tell you this, but it's likely that Mr. Dark's minions will be taking your friend to the Twisted Kingdom he calls Playland.
But where can I find that?
Even I don't know exactly, but my senses tell me that you should travel to the east. Your answers lay there.
There was no time to waste. I didn't want Sally to get trapped in Playland, just like the other skeleton dragon's friend, so I immediately set off to the east, hoping to find her. But on my way, I was suddenly ambushed by a zombie Spartan, ready to fight. But unlucky for him, I was ready to fight too. Nothing is going to stand in the way of me rescuing my friend. The zombie Spartan was tough, but I had the power of friendship on my side. It didn't take me long to strike him to submission with my enchanted sword. In his defeat, the zombie Spartan dropped something, 2 voidworm mandibles. I already have a voidworm eye. I better take them. They might come in handy. On days 54 to 57, having defeated the zombie Spartan, I continued searching for Sally the skeleton horse, and my search soon led me to a deep cave. Suddenly, it felt like everything got much darker around me. I'm never going to let Mr. Dark take you to Playland, Sally.
That isn't your choice, Zozo.
I turned and saw one of the shadows in the cave moving with bright purple eyes. It was him, Mr. Dark, standing right behind me.
Do you want to come to Playland with me now?
What did you do with her? I swung my sword, and Mr. Dark teleported out of the way, appearing right behind me.
She's playing with my friends right now, but later she'll play with me. Do you want to play with us, Zozo?
I tried to hit him again, but Mr. Dark was too fast for me. He hit me with one of his long, spindly arms and knocked me up against the wall, knocking out half of my hearts in one strike.
Still too weak. We'll play again when you're stronger, Zozo. Mark my words.
And then he disappeared, leaving me with nothing. A silver Lobo approached me out of the darkness, looking worried, and gave me some apples to replenish my hearts. Thanks, Silver Lobo. You saved my life here. The Lobo told me about a secret room further into the cave where I might find some vital information. I went deeper into the cave, feeling around on the wall until I felt a button and pressed it, opening a secret door. There was blue fire torches on the wall and an old map left on the table with some locations marked. They must be keeping Sally at one of these locations. On days 58 through 62, I decided I needed to become stronger before I could find the location where they were keeping Sally. First, I went to the diamond mine the Silver Lobo told me about and took the old elevator down. I quickly found some diamonds near the entrance and started mining. I then saw what looked like an old abandoned mining camp. A chest inside of it had a book with the unbreakable enchantment. I don't think whoever owned this camp would mind if I used the crafting table to make my gear. I made myself a diamond sword and a diamond chestplate to match. I used the nearby anvil to put the unbreakable enchantment on my chestplate. Now this is one of the most powerful pieces of armor around. After that, I returned to my base to continue work on my statue. It's really coming along nicely now. I even got to use all those rubies that Sally and I collected, but I could use some more materials. I went out into the forest to hunt, but in the process, I found something remarkable. A magical, enchanted halo. I decided to try it on and immediately felt its magic empower me. I got stronger and healthier, going up to 14 hearts. Whoa, talk about a functional headwear. As I continued hunting in the forest, I stumbled upon a spider nest. I saw the same gremlin from before, stuck in their webs calling for help. The spiders noticed me and charged towards me. This was the perfect opportunity to test out my new gear, but they were no match for my diamond sword. After I dealt with them, I cut the web holding the gremlin and he fell down. He thanked me for saving him again and ran off into the forest. Next time I take on Mr. Dark, he's in trouble. I went back to my base, feeling a lot more confident, and found that a huge bone serpent was waiting for me. But don't worry, he was friendly.
So, you're the skeleton dragon I've been hearing about. I heard something about this friend of yours. A skeleton horse? You want to find her? I recommend you look for an abandoned house on the plains.
Finally, a break in the case! You're a lifesaver, Bone Serpent, literally! Want to stay at my base?
Well, since you're offering, why not?
I built a new room with a pool where the Bone Serpent could stay. But by then, it was already nighttime. Mr. Dark would be on the prowl. I'd go find Sally first thing in the morning. On day 63 through 66, I was preparing to go on a rescue mission for Sally. But before I could leave, my mentor, the Necromancer, arrived to give me a gift.
Zozo, I wanted to give you a gift before you went on your quest. Mr. Dark is a mutant Enderman, and this dagger will do extra damage against Endermen. But be warned, it'll be incredibly weak against anything that isn't an Enderman.
Thank you, Master Necromancer. These will come in handy. I left my base, passed through the forest, and ventured out onto the plains. This was the exact direction that the Bone Serpent told me to go in. That's when I ran into a group of zombies and decided to test my dagger on them, and it did almost no damage. Wow, Master Necromancer was right. This dagger is useless against things that aren't Endermen. Instead, I pulled out my diamond sword and easily defeated the zombie horde before moving on with my quest. I got distracted again when I saw a villager, dressed like a craftsman standing next to a burning house. He looked like he needed help. Hey mister, I'm Zozo. Can I give you a hand?
Yes, please! My wife is trapped in that burning building, and I'm too old to rescue her myself. Please help me!
I ran into the burning building and found the craftsman's wife waiting inside. Thanks to my training from the Necromancer, I was able to stay cool under pressure and lead the craftsman's wife safely back out. He was delighted to see her.
Thank you, Zozo. I owe you one for this, and I always repay my debts.
On days 67 through 70, I arrived at the abandoned house in the plains where I figured they must be holding Sally. This place looks so spooky, but I need to do the right thing, just like my mentor taught me. I carefully entered the house, trying not to be detected. I noticed that there was a broken end portal inside. That's weird, but I was quickly distracted by the sounds coming from upstairs. I drew my sword and ran upstairs, seeing Sally the skeleton horse locked in one of the rooms. Don't worry, Sally, I'm here to help.
Wait, Zozo, it's a trap.
3 Endermen suddenly appeared all around me. I tried to fight back, but I wasn't fast enough. They kept teleporting and attacking me back. Little by little, I was backed into the corner. It looked like I was a goner until I saw something on the floor. Is that a potion of fortitude? It was. I quickly grabbed it and drank it, and it made me tough enough to collect my thoughts, remembering the gift from my mentor. I pulled out the dagger and charged in. He was definitely right about its strength against Endermen, because soon enough, all 3 were defeated, although I barely survived that. I went to free Sally from the locked room. We celebrated for a moment in the room before I let her out and headed towards home. Let's go and rest, Sally. I've missed you. I shared some of my apples with Sally as we walked home, happy to finally be reunited. On days 71 to 74, with Sally's help, I invited more skeleton horses to my base and let them stay in my stable. Though I had to take time to expand the stable so everyone could fit inside. Let me know if it gets too cramped in there. After I'd finished my renovations, I decided to journey down into the diamond mine again and collect more, you guessed it, diamonds. When I returned to my base, I used those diamonds to complete my set of diamond armor and enchant it with the protection enchantment to help improve my chances in an intense fight. When the armor was done, I noticed that I received a letter. Oh, it's the craftsman whose wife I saved from that burning house. He says he wants to meet me in the tavern of a nearby village. That's so exciting! On day 75 to 78, I did as the letter said and traveled to the nearby village. I found the craftsman waiting for me in the village tavern, just like he promised.
Good to see you again, Zozo. After what you did, I've been thinking about a way to repay you. And while I'm not a rich man, as a craftsman, I can give you an idea of mine. If you're able to combine 2 netherite ingots, 2 void worm mandibles, and 1 void worm eye, you could create a dimensional carver, a special pickaxe that can teleport you between locations.
Wait, I have all of those materials. That's incredible. I can build one right now. Thank you, Mr. Craftsman. I made my way over to a nearby crafting bench and made myself a dimensional carver and gave it a practice swing. Boom! I was teleported to the village outskirts with a group of great beasts charging at me. Uh-oh, better get out of here. I swung the dimensional carver again, and boom, I was back in my base. Wow, this tool is amazing. though I'll save it for emergencies in the future. On days 79 through 84, I started building a new storage shed for extra supplies in my base. You never know when you'll need the extra storage space. Then, I made a full set of armor for Sally, so she could be better protected when she's wandering through the forest.
This is great, Zozo. Thank you.
But then, I was running low on materials, especially stone and wood, so I decided to head out into the forest to cut down some trees and mine some more stone. While I was mining and lumberjacking, a passing mage noticed me and approached.
Excuse me, young skeleton dragon, but would you happen to be Zozo?
That depends. Do you work for Mr. Dark?
Well, I used to, and there's something I want to get off my chest. You have to understand, Mr. Dark is pure evil. If ever there was good in him, it's gone now. You cannot reason with him. You cannot talk to him. The only joy he takes is in making others unhappy. So when you're dealing with him, just be careful. He is not to be messed with.
And with that, the mage left. Guess that's my daily dose of nightmare fuel. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base from the forest in the late evening, only to find out that the worst had happened. Mr. Dark was attacking my base with a whole gang of soul eaters.
Look, friends, Zozo is back. He's here to join our little playtime.
I want nothing to do with you or your deranged games. I just want you to stop bothering everybody.
Yes, we could do that. Or we could play catch, soul eater, throw.
One of the soul eaters pulled out a javelin and threw it at me. But then something strange happened. Rather than losing hearts, I started to get bigger and stronger. I'd become an evolved skeleton dragon, reaching my full size and going up 20 hearts. Whoa, I guess all that training is finally paying off. Wanna 1v1 me, Mr. Dark?
Why should I have all the fun? My friends want to play with you too. Play with him, soul eaters.
Mr. Dark vanished again, and the soul eaters ran towards me. With my new size and power, it didn't take me long to defeat them, which made me even more frustrated that I couldn't have taken on Mr. Dark there and then. Instead, I had to increase the size of my bedroom. A bigger skeleton dragon needs a bigger place to live. On days 90 to 94, I finally finished my statue. It's a giant, cool skull statue, showing how we skeletons stuck together and stood against the evil of Mr. Dark and his minions. Did you guess what it was before I just told you? Let me know down in the comments. Once the statue was finally done, I decided I'd give some extra training to my best friend, Sally the Skeleton Horse. We trained together on the base grounds by play fighting until she upgraded and became bigger and stronger.
It feels so good to be powerful enough to fend for myself. Thanks, Zozo.
I never would have gotten this far without you, Sally. And after training, Sally took me to her brewing station she had set up to make a bunch of healing potions. You never know when these will come in handy. On day 95 to day 97, I met with the necromancer in the forest. He had some more valuable advice for me.
Zozo, I've heard of the location of a cabin in these woods, once owned by a person who was researching Mr. Dark. You might be able to find some valuable information there.
That definitely seemed like a good lead, so I started searching the woods until I found a rundown old cabin. On the inside, I found a dusty old book inside a chest. Oh, I wonder what secret knowledge is inside. But I didn't have time to read it just yet. Suddenly, the cabin was under attack by a gang of fire elementals who'd come to burn down the cabin. I was lucky to have my diamond armor, or I would have been burned up too. Okay, fire elementals, let's go. I took them on with my diamond sword and defeated them one by one, only getting a little burnt in the process. Great! Now I can finally read this book. The book was filled with frantic notes, including a part that read, Mr. Dark, that maniac. He calls it Playland, but it's nothing like that. There's only death there. It's the end. Nothing but the end. Of course, that explains the broken end portal too. Mr. Dark's Playland is actually the end. On day 98, I prepared the final enchantments for my weapons and armor and met with Sally one last time. She was nice enough to give me some more apples for the trip. I'm going to take on Mr. Dark. I discovered that he's hiding in the end, and without an end portal, I can use my dimensional carver to get there.
You're not going alone, Zozo. I'm coming with you.
But Sally…
But nothing. I saved your butt the first time you came here, and you think I'm gonna let you wander right into Mr. Dark's base? Alone? We started this together, and we're gonna finish it together too.
Well, when you put it like that, I can't exactly say no, can I? But I can say that if you want more exciting adventures like this, you should subscribe to Zozo and find more of our videos by searching ZOZO on YouTube. I'll really appreciate it. On day 99, Sally and I were ready to take the fight to Mr. Dark and free everyone that was still trapped in Playland.
Let's do this, Zozo. Let's make it so the people of this world never have to fear the night again.
That's what I'm talking about, Sally! Sally stood close to me, and I used the Dimensional Carver to teleport us all the way to the end so we could storm Playland together. But as soon as we arrived, we were immediately surrounded by a gang of Endermen. I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, me too.
I pulled out my handy dagger, ready to fight off the Endermen, when I realized that they weren't here for me. They surrounded Sally, too fast for me to stop them, and grabbed her. They teleported away, taking Sally with them to who knows where. Sally, no! I knew why they'd done it. They were working for Mr. Dark, and Mr. Dark wanted me to face him alone. On day 100, I walked deeper into the end alone, looking for Mr. Dark. He didn't seem to be anywhere around here. That's when I noticed a cage containing a skeleton dragon just like me. I'd finally found him. Don't worry, fellow Draggy, I'll get you out of here. I heard an evil laugh behind me, and Mr. Dark appeared.
You've come to play with me at long last. I knew you would in the end, little one.
I'm not so little anymore. I pulled out my dagger and turned to attack Mr. Dark, but he teleported out of the way and hit me again. He was even stronger than I remembered. Thankfully, I had a spare potion of healing to take to offset the damage.
Play along, Zozo. It's no fun if you don't play.
I tried to attack him again, but it was like fighting smoke. Every time I went for him, he teleported out of the way and attacked me back. It felt like all of my training was for nothing against him. You don't play fair, Mr. Dark.
That's because it's no fun to play like that. And I'm sorry, Zozo, but you're starting to feel awfully boring to me.
I looked behind me and saw that a giant chasm had opened up in the ground behind me. It was so dark down there, I didn't even know if there was a bottom.
You'll find more friends down there, Zozo. You'll never want to leave.
While Mr. Dark was focused on me, I saw a figure charging up behind him. It was Sally, the skeleton horse. And still, Mr. Dark hadn't even noticed her.
Any last words before you go into the dark, Zozo?
Yeah, playtime's over.
What?
Sally the skeleton horse charged into Mr. Dark and knocked him into the bottomless pit. He screamed and fell, never to be seen again.
Can't say I'm gonna miss that creep. Let's save the prisoners and get out of here, Zozo.
You know, that sounds good to me. On day 1, I spawned in as Demon Steve with 5 hearts. Oh wow, Demon Steve? Maybe this means I should cause some mischief. Nothing too serious, of course, just some fun little pranks. But I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, because as soon as I did, a huge Iron Golem Knight came barreling towards me across the prairie. He was easily twice my size and scarily fast for how big he was.
Halt, foul demon! You have no business in these lands. I will destroy you now, for I am the brave knight, Sir Slashalot, and it is my duty to destroy evil.
Wait, I'm not evil. I'm just a little mischievous. I don't deserve to be destroyed.
All demons deserve to be destroyed, and I have made it my life's mission to do so. It's why I'm the good guy here. Now have at thee. It's time to meet your doom, demon.
Sir Slashalot didn't waste any time. He immediately tried to slash me in half. I guess that's how he got his name, so I tried to hit him back. When I hit him, he took some fire damage. That must mean that as a demon, my punches have a natural fire aspect enchantment. That's so cool! But I was still no match for the knight. I made a run for it, further into the prairie, until I couldn't see him anymore. I stopped for a moment to rest. Jeez, it isn't easy being a demon. Then, I was attacked by a bunch of fallen soldiers with a bone to pick. Thankfully, my fire punches were really helpful in defeating them before they could deal me any real damage. After they were finished, I found some shelter under a tree to finally get some sleep. I guess people really hate demons in this world. I wonder if I can still get by, even if nobody believes in me here. On day 2, I decided that if nobody was going to take care of me, I'd at least take care of myself. I punched down some trees with my powerful fire punch and used the remains to build myself a wooden pickaxe. This was perfect for digging into the ground and getting enough stone to build a complete stone tool set, including a stone sword. Now I'm ready to explore the world and maybe do a little demon pranking too. I traveled from the prairie to the Red Rock Valley, which seemed like a fun place for a demon to hang out. Once I arrived, I found a nice clear area where I'd have plenty of space to build a base. I used some of the material I collected to start building a cool little demon pad where I could hang out and avoid Sir Slashlot and his men. It was pretty basic at first, with only a room to sleep and a room to hang out in, but when it was done, I took in all my hard work and felt happy. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. And clearly, my building attracted some attention, because I was soon attacked by a roving concrete golem. We fought, and believe me, he was as tough as, well, concrete. But in the end, I managed to get the upper hand and defeat him. But it made me realize how strong stone could be. Using a crafting bench I added to my base, I decided to build myself a full set of stone armor. Sometimes the best offense is a good defense. With all this work done, I added a bed to my bedroom and settled down to sleep. On day 3, I traveled from the Red Rock Valley over to the forest, where I could collect some more wooden blocks for my base. Even when you're a demon, you just can't beat the class of hardwood flooring. I cut down a few trees and collected all the wood blocks. Just when I was about to take the rest of the day off, a behemoth suddenly ran out of the woods and started attacking me. This is the last thing I need today! I equipped my sword and started fighting back. But even with my demon strength, I was still too weak to go toe-to-toe with him. Instead, I turned around and made a run for it, traveling deeper into the forest. That's when I ran into a hellhound. Hey, hellhound, I'm Zozo, and I'm a demonic creature too. What are you doing all the way out here in the forest?
Probably the same thing you're doing, trying to avoid Sir Slashlot and his band of not-so-merry knights. They've been coming down hard on anything even vaguely demonic. I lost one of my hellhound brothers to his raids.
Oh no, that's awful! Tell you what, hellhound, I think we should stick together. Come stay at my base with me. There's safety in numbers, right?
Huh, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base in the Red Rock Valley with my new friend, the Hellhound. Because he probably didn't want to sleep in my room with me, I instead started building a kennel where he could live. One that would suit his needs perfectly. By the time it was done, it looked like the Hellhound could settle in nicely. It was a job well done. But sadly, it wasn't time for me to rest just yet, because I saw a High Reaver skulking around the outside of my base. He was someone I needed to deal with before things got too out of hand. No trespassers allowed, Reaver! I ran out and fought him with my stone sword, surprising him with how tough I was, even though I wasn't that experienced. It must have been that demon confidence serving me well. Soon enough, the High Reaver was defeated, and he left me a gift. A bow dropped to the ground, ripe for the taking. So I did. Now I have a long-range attack too. This is perfect. From day 6 to day 8, I went out to the plains in search of more resources. If nothing else, I could probably find some more stone to make my base bigger. However, while I was out there, just minding my own business, I was suddenly ambushed by Sir Slashlot himself. Uh-oh.
You thought you could escape me, foolish demon? But nobody escapes Sir Slashalot. It is my righteous purpose to hunt down and slay every single one of you. And now, with my new divine blade, which is extra dangerous to demonic beings, I'll finally be able to carry out my mission.
Sure, but you'll have to catch me first. I ran as fast as I could, while the crazed Sir Slashlot chased me. As I ran, I knew that I'd have no hope of stopping him. For now, the best I could do to survive was just run away as fast as I could and hope that he didn't catch me. During the chase, I even ran out of the plains and into the cover of the forest. Sir Slashlot kept chasing me, but I'd built enough distance between us to hide behind a tree. I stayed very still and very quiet while Sir Slashlot searched. To my relief, he didn't seem to find me.
You can't hide forever, demon. I'll search for you to the ends of the earth and back if I have to. Even if you hide in the deepest cracks and crannies of the nether or the dark mists of the end, mark my words, I will find you and I will destroy you.
After that, Sir Slashlot left. I was safe again, for now. He was right though, I couldn't hide from him forever. I needed to get stronger, I needed to defeat him. From day 9 to day 10, I returned to my base and wondered what I could do to start getting stronger, strong enough to take on Sir Slashalot. I went into the Hellhound's kennel to ask him for some ideas on what to do.
I think maybe you need some inspiration, Zozo. You're getting too stuck in your head about all this. If you want to be big and strong, you need to picture it. Maybe start building a statue of what you'd like to be like.
Oh, that's a really neat idea, Hellhound. I'm gonna get right on it. I collected some material from the area around my base and cleared a plot of land for me to start building my statue. I wanted to build a statue of a huge, powerful winged demon, just like I wanted to be after all my training. Once I'd laid the foundations and made the start of my statue, I went back to my base and decided to make a fireplace. After all, demons love fire. As soon as it was done, I sat back and warmed myself with the flames. Maybe everything would turn out to be alright in the end, if I tried my hardest. From day 11 to day 12, I went further than I'd ever gone before, venturing into the dark depths of the Black Forest, not knowing what I might find in there. I hoped, at least, that I wouldn't find Sir Slash-a-Lot waiting for me. Instead, I ran into a Gorgon. She was warming herself next to a campfire she'd built, and she noticed me as I approached.
Who goes there? Are you here to interfere with me? If you come any closer, I'll turn you to stone.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm not here to interfere with anyone. I'm just out here trying to avoid Sir Slash-a-Lot. He's been on my tail for almost 2 weeks now.
Ah, Sir Slash-a-Lot. That makes sense. He's been making trouble around the overworld for decades now. I've been around for all of it, and it seems he's only getting worse.
Worse? You seem to know a lot, Miss Gorgon. Can you maybe tell me where Sir Slash-a-Lot came from?
Well, long ago there was a village that was often under attack by demons and other demonic creatures. In order to protect the village, a powerful wizard created his special night version of an iron golem. His purpose was to protect the villagers by destroying demons. But there was a problem, you see. Over time, the relations between the village and the demons smoothed over. Some demons even chose to live peacefully among the villagers. But this special iron golem, he didn't know how to take this. He wasn't even built to imagine that humans and demons could ever get along. So he went mad, and in his madness he destroyed the entire village, leaving no demons or villagers left. Now he roves the world, picking up others who share his mission, with the goal of eliminating demons and any who are kind to them. If you want to defeat him, you're going to need everything you've got, Zozo.
From day 13 to day 15, with the story the Gorgon told me still ringing through my mind, I decided I needed to stand up for myself and settle an old score. I went back to the forest where I'd first met my friend the Hellhound, and I hunted down the behemoth that had given me so much trouble the first time I got there. But this time, I decided to try a different tactic. Rather than engaging directly, I took out the bow I'd taken from the High Reaver and took the behemoth on from a distance. This time, it only took a few well-placed arrows to defeat the beast, and the XP it gave me let me level up. I got bigger, stronger, and got 15 hearts. Oh wow, and what's this new ability? I could now draw on my demon powers to use a ranged fireball attack. It took a lot of energy, so I couldn't use it often, but it was still a really cool power to have in my back pocket just in case. From day 16 to day 19, after deciding this would be a great time to invest in some upgrades for all my equipment, I started mining underground, searching for some veins of iron ore. But during my search, I also found a bunch of nasty cave spiders who weren't eager to have company. Looks like I gotta do a little pest control down here. I unleashed a fireball that blasted most of the cave spiders immediately. The last couple ran away after that, not wanting to get in any more trouble with me. Sometimes, being a demon can have its perks. I searched deeper until I found some veins of iron ore, mined them, and collected them. Then I took them back to my base for crafting. I built a furnace on my base and used it to smelt the iron ore into iron ingots. Then, with the help of a little extra wood, I made myself a full set of iron gear, including an iron pickaxe, a shield, and an iron sword. Now I've got an iron will and an iron loadout. From day 20 to day 22, I was chilling at my base when suddenly Hellhound ran in to warn me about something. He looked worried and frantic. What's going on, Hellhound?
Zozo, it's an emergency! Sir Slash-a-Lot is outside right now. You need to go stop him or he'll destroy the whole base.
There was no time to waste. I equipped my iron sword and shield and ran out to face Sir Slash-a-Lot, who was waiting for me at the base's entrance.
Impressive! I was worried you wouldn't even come face me, demon. Perhaps you're a little less cowardly than I thought.
I'm no coward, Sir Slash-a-Lot, but I also don't want to fight you unless I absolutely have to. You're making a big mistake trying to destroy all the demons. Most of us are just trying to get by.
I don't believe you, demon! You're just trying to trick me, but I won't fall for it! I'll destroy every last one of you!
With that, Sir Slashlot attacked me, and I fought back. Even though his divine sword was powerful, my shield helped me block a lot of the damage, and my iron sword was a formidable weapon. Despite this, I started to get worried that I might lose the fight, so I pulled out the big guns and hit him with a fireball. That made him stop fighting me and fall back.
This isn't over, Zozo. I will return and slay you and all the rest.
After that, he ran away. I felt lucky to be alive after such an intense fight, but for a second there, it felt like I really had him on the ropes. If I keep training and upgrading my gear, maybe I can truly defeat Sir Slashlot and his evil forces. From day 23 to day 26, I went underground to search for some new, interesting materials and found myself in the middle of the lush caves. This is great! Demons naturally love being underground, so this suits me just fine. As I searched, I found something extremely valuable. A protection enchantment. This would help me protect myself and ward off attacks from Sir Slashlot. And if you want to protect yourself from boredom, believe me, the best way to do it is to search ZO in your search bar for more exciting Zozo adventures. From day 27 to day 31, I continued to work on my statue. It was looking pretty good if I do say so myself, but I couldn't shake this feeling that something was missing. Oh, I know. This statue needs some red terracotta. I'll go to the eroded Badlands to find some. So I grabbed my gear and left my base, making my way out to the eroded Badlands to hunt for some new material. I hadn't heard from Sir Slashlot in days, so I was feeling pretty good about my progress. I eventually reached an area where there was plenty of red terracotta, but just by luck, there was a gang of mutant hoglins guarding it. I needed to do some battling today after all. Ready to see how a demon fights hoglins? I ran in with my sword and shield, blocking their attacks and returning mine. It didn't take me long to defeat the entire group, then collect all the material I needed for the next part of my statue. Come to Zozo. After collecting all the material, I went back to my base and continued working on the statue. It was coming along great. From day 32 to day 35, I decided it was time to go and explore a biome I'd never been to before, the Snowy Plains. Demons don't naturally like the cold, so I figured being out in the snow would help me toughen up to fight Sir Slashlot. And that toughness was about to come in majorly handy because it didn't take long for a big, nasty snow golem to run in, ready for a fight. Ready to kick some frosty butt, I pulled out my sword and took him on. He had the home field advantage, but I wouldn't give up. Soon enough, I was able to take him down with my sword. Once I defeated the snow golem, I kept moving until I ran into a crying snow fox standing in the middle of the snow. What's wrong, little snow fox?
The Dread Lich of the Snowy Plains stole my favorite guitar, and he wouldn't give it back. I'm not strong enough to fight him myself, so I don't know what to do.
Don't worry, little snow fox. I may be a demon, but I'm a helpful demon, so I'll go get your guitar back, or my name isn't Zozo.
Oh, thank you so much, Zozo. You're amazing.
From day 36 to day 39, I took some directions from the sad snow fox and ventured deeper into the snowy plains to find the Dread Lich. It didn't take me long because I could hear his terrible, out-of-tune guitar playing before I even ran into him. I hid behind a rock and watched as the Dread Lich played the guitar badly, but even if he was a bad guitar player, he still looked pretty tough. From here, I could also see he was keeping an innocent green pixie in a cage too. This guy was the master of taking things that didn't belong to him. At least he seemed pretty distracted by talking to the pixie.
So, what do you think? Pretty sick track, right? I told you it was foolish not to accept my invitation into my band. We're gonna be the next One Direction.
The only direction I want to go is out of here, Dread Lich.
An encore, you say? Coming right up.
Please, no.
Just like that, I formulated my plan. Using their sound as a distraction, I'd run right in, defeat the Dread Lich, free the green pixie, and get the snow fox's guitar back. From day 40 to day 43, I put my plan into action. It was time to make it all happen. While the Dread Lich was jamming out, terribly, in case you've forgotten, I snuck up behind him and prepared to strike him with my sword. But he spun around and hit me with his stolen guitar. It really hurt.
How dare you interrupt my band practice, little demon? Me and the green pixie were on the verge of riding our Sgt. Pepper, but you just disrupted the flow.
He's lying. He kidnapped me. Please help me out of here.
Silence, or I'll do scales again.
Oh goodness, please, no.
Before he could play any more terrible songs, I blasted a fireball at the Dreadlich. After that, he started attacking me again, but this time I was ready to fight back. I used my sword and my shield, timing my blocks and attack perfectly. Soon, the Dreadlich was no more, and I used my sword to break open the green pixie's cage.
I'm free! I'm free! Thank you, Zozo. I'll never forget this. I feel so grateful I'll never have to listen to the Dreadlich's lousy guitar playing again. I'm really more of a hip-hop and R&B fan at heart.
With the Dreadlich defeated and the green pixie freed, I traveled across the snowy plains again until I reached the Snow Fox. I found your guitar, little guy. It's super cool, and actually a really effective weapon, too.
Thank you so much for getting it back for me, Zozo. I trust you, so you're welcome to borrow it if you want.
That's so kind. How about you come live at my base for a while, too, just so you have somewhere safe to stay.
That sounds like an awesome idea.
From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the Snow Fox behind me, practicing on the sick guitar that he'd loaned me. It's true what they say, demons are just naturally better at music. It must be why we make so many crossroads deals with famous musicians. I made a few upgrades to my base, including building a whole new room that the Snow Fox could sleep in while he was staying with me.
This is such a cool room. Thanks, Zozo. I think I'm gonna really enjoy my time staying here.
No problem, Snow Fox. You're always welcome here. And with the Snow Fox settling down, I decided to finish up day 49 by working on the statue. It was really coming along. I think things are about to get a whole lot better. From day 50 to day 53, things got a whole lot worse. Sir Slashalot returned to my base, and this time he brought friends, a group of Dread Knights.
You've tested me for too long, Zozo. Now I'm going to have to get serious with you. These Dread Knights are completely devoted to my cause of wiping out every demon. What better place to start than with the most annoying one of all, you!
With that, the Dread Knights advanced towards me while Sir Slashalot stood back and watched. I refused to be defeated in front of him. I'll take you all on! And I did! As the Dread Knights poured in, I shot a fireball and fought them all. One by one, I took them all out until none were left. By that time, Sir Slashalot was already gone. This battle gave me enough XP to level up once again. I got bigger, stronger, and now I had 30 hearts too. Not to mention a new power, Demon Skin, which made me completely immune to fire and lava damage. This is awesome! I can't believe that actually went well for me. But not everything was as peachy keen as I thought. Suddenly, the Snow Fox came running towards me.
Zozo, I have bad news. I can't find the Hellhound anywhere. I think Sir Slashalot's Dread Knights might have just been a distraction for him to kidnap Hellhound.
Oh no, this is horrible! We need to get him back as quickly as possible! From day 54 to day 57, I repaired some of the parts of my base that had been damaged during my battle with the Dread Knights. Then I started building a stronger, taller perimeter wall, so if Sir Slashalot tried attacking my base again, it wouldn't be so easy for him. Once I'd finished making the proper tweaks and upgrades to my base, I knew exactly what I needed to do next. Go back to the Black Forest and speak to the Gorgon. She seems like she really knows a lot about Sir Slashalot in his past, so maybe she can help me. I journeyed out into the Black Forest as quickly as I could, knowing that every second counted while Sir Slashalot and his men had the Hellhound captive. Luckily, I found the Gorgon in the exact same place, chilling out around a campfire.
Oh, Demon Boy, you again. Is there something I can do for you, or are you just here to warm yourself by the fire?
It's an emergency, Miss Gorgon. My friend, the Hellhound, has been kidnapped by Sir Slashalot and his forces. I have no idea where he's taken them. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, in the early days of his rampages, Sir Slashalot and his men would just rove from place to place, taking on different villages and bases as they went. But eventually, too many people started to band together and fight back. It was around that time that Sir Slashalot started building Castle Slashalot in the east. It was a dangerous castle with an extensive set of dungeons underneath. If your friend is still alive and being kept anywhere, I'd wager that it's probably there.
Castle Slashalot in the east. That's exactly where I'll go. Thanks again for the help, Miss Gorgon.
No problem, kid. And hey, when you're finally fighting old Slashalot, be sure to give him an extra wallop for me, will ya?
Will do. From day 58 to day 62, I knew that I needed to upgrade my gear if I wanted any hope of surviving a journey into Castle Slashalot. I found the nearest diamond mine and ventured inside with my iron sword and pickaxe at the ready. Of course, it would never be as simple as just waltzing in there, grabbing some diamonds, and leaving. There were some skeletons in there waiting for me, and they didn't seem all that friendly. And I'm guessing you guys won't just let me through because I'm in a hurry today. They didn't respond, they just attacked me. So to keep them at bay, I blasted them with a fireball and attacked the rest with my sword. It didn't take me long to defeat all those skellies. I then pulled out my iron pickaxe and started mining for dear life until I'd collected a whole bunch of diamonds. Then I returned to my base to do some crafting and forging. I combined my diamonds with some wood I'd gathered and created a diamond pickaxe, diamond sword, and some diamond armor. Now I felt like I was ready for anything! From day 63 to day 66, after all this hard work and upgrading, I was almost ready to storm the dungeons of Castle Slashalot and rescue Hellhound. But first, to make sure my head was in the right space, I did a little more work on the statue. Seeing the big, strong demon I was building helped motivate me to know what really mattered. Getting big enough and strong enough to beat Sir Slashalot and save my friends. And if you want to help me on my mission to make friends, get strong, build cool bases, and defeat evil bad guys, hit subscribe and ring the little bell so you can join me on all of my exciting adventures. From day 67 to day 70, with my new power and diamond equipment, I knew that it was time to make my way to Castle Slashalot and rescue Hellhound from the evil knight's clutches. I traveled east, following the Gorgon's instructions until I saw a sinister castle on the horizon and just knew that it had to be Castle Slashalot. And when I got closer and saw that the building was surrounded by Dread Knight guards, my suspicions were confirmed. I knew that Hellhound and Sir Slashalot were somewhere inside. I guess the only way in is just to fight my way through, but I need to be smart about this. I'll save my fireball power for Slashalot himself when I'm inside. First, I pulled out my bow and started firing at the Dread Knights. This took out a few of them and alerted the others to my position. It was time to fight up close and personal. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran into the battle, fighting off as many Dread Knights as I could. Thankfully, my diamond armor helped deflect the worst of their blows. Once all the Dread Knights were defeated, I ran into Castle Slashalot, searching for wherever I could find Hellhound. That's when I saw a tunnel that seemed to be leading deep into the ground. It must be the tunnel down into the dungeon. I need to get down there and save him. So I steeled myself and ran down into the dungeon, ready to do whatever I needed to save my friend. From day 71 to day 74, I entered the dungeon, searching for Hellhound. I saw a bunch of cells lining the walls, all empty, except one of them. And of course, that one cell had Hellhound waiting for me in it. He seemed so happy to see me there.
Zozo, it's you! Thank you for coming to save me!
Of course I'd save you, Hellhound. You're one of my best friends. Now stand back. I'm gonna bust you out of here. Hellhound stood back, and I used my diamond sword to smash open the door to his cell. Head back to the base, Hellhound. I'm gonna keep fighting my way through. Sir Slashalot can't keep getting away with all this. He needs to be defeated, here and now.
Good luck, Zozo. I know that if anyone could take down that monster, it's you!
With Hellhound released to safety, I could comfortably focus on my next mission, taking down the big boss. I continued to explore the dungeon. During my journey, more Dread Knights emerged and started attacking me. Lucky for me, with all my weapons and gear, they really weren't hard for me to defeat. Sir Slashalot should really start employing some tougher guys. These Dread Knights aren't even a challenge anymore. He should rename them Mild and Convenience Knights. Once the Dread Knights were defeated, I found a chest buried deep in the dungeons, containing one truly awesome item, a dragon bone sword. This is an even better weapon for a demon than a diamond sword. Using this, Sir Slashalot doesn't stand a chance against me. With my brand new sword, I kept searching until I saw an unfamiliar door. This must have been one that led directly into Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum. Hope you're ready, Slashalot. This is one demon you can't get rid of. From day 75 to day 78, I entered the first chamber of Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum and found that the diabolical knight himself was waiting for me.
Foul demon! You have defiled my castle with your presence, and you have taken my precious dragonbone sword from the dungeon. You've destroyed scores of my men, and worst of all, you've committed crimes against nature by existing as a demon. Is there anything in your vast list of crimes that I'm forgetting?
I think you're forgetting that time I hit you with a fireball, maybe?
What? I don't remember such an event.
Oh shoot, my bad. Sorry, I think I must have been thinking about it. Right now! I fired a fireball at Sir Slashalot, stunning him. That gave me a perfect opening. I ran in with my new Dragonbone sword at the ready and started attacking, hitting him again and again and again, not even giving him time to fight back. I could tell that Sir Slashalot was badly injured by my attack because he retreated away from me, holding a defensive position.
You got lucky, Zozo, but you won't get lucky again!
Luck has nothing to do with it, Slashalot. You just made the mistake of assuming that a demon could never be stronger than you, and that's why you're paying the price.
You insolent little rat, I'll show you!
Then Sir Slashalot turned around and ran, and all I could do was try to chase him. From day 79 to day 84, I chased the wounded Sir Slashalot deeper into his inner sanctum, ready to finish this once and for all. But of course, I should have known that it would never be so easy. As soon as I caught up to him, I could see that Sir Slashalot wasn't running anymore. He was just standing there, watching me.
I have to hand it to you, demon. You've really pushed me to my limit here. And the Dragonbone sword was a particularly ingenious touch. But I have one last trick still up my sleeve. Don't get scared now, Zozo.
Suddenly, Sir Slashalot began to glow and transform. He became a bigger, more imposing version of himself. What? I don't understand.
You don't need to understand, Zozo. You need only tremble before me. This is my final form, Ultimate Demon Crusader Sir Slashalot. Are you ready to meet your doom, Zozo?
For the first time in a while, I felt truly afraid. All I could do was turn and run out of the inner sanctum in shame. Once again, I wasn't ready to face him. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, feeling really down after not being able to defeat Sir Slashalot in his new, more powerful form. I was lying in my bed, too depressed to even think about getting up and fighting, when I remembered something. My statue outside. It was almost finished. Even if I couldn't defeat Sir Slashalot, the least I could do is go out there and finish my statue. So that's what I did. I went outside, and using the rest of my gathered materials, I finished my statue. It looked magnificent. That strong, powerful demon. It reminded me of something important. If I keep trying and didn't give up, I could be that strong and even defeat Sir Slashalot in his stronger form. Just as I was starting to get my hope back, Hellhound approached me with some more good news.
Zozo, you seem down, so I wanted to do something nice for you, since you rescued me from Sir Slashalot. I upgraded your sword. It's not just any Dragonbone sword anymore. It's a flamed Dragonbone sword.
Oh my goodness, Hellhound, this is amazing! And it looks so much more powerful than my old sword.
To unlock its true power, you need to journey into the Nether's Crimson Forest and find the Fire Aspect enchantment. That will give you the punch you need to teach that armored bully some manners.
From day 90 to day 94, I left my base and ventured out into a forest to the west after hearing rumors that there was a working nether portal somewhere deep in the woods. After searching for 2 whole days, I eventually found it, exactly what I needed. Guess it's now or never. I'm so glad nobody was here to hear that. I hopped into the portal and was immediately transported into the nether. Following the Hellhound's instructions, I kept searching until I found the Crimson Forest and kept a low profile to avoid upsetting some of the less friendly nether dwellers. Wow, this doesn't seem like a particularly nice neighborhood. Thankfully, nobody spotted me and decided to pick a fight. Instead, I just kept searching until I found an old chest hidden in the woods, containing a book that had all the details of the Fire Aspect enchantment. Jackpot! Oh hey, what's that over there? I noticed a block with a strange color in the ground. It took me a second to realize what I was looking at. Ancient debris, one of the rarest blocks out there. Lucky for me, I already had my diamond pickaxe, which is the only thing that can mine ancient debris. I immediately started mining and picked up as many ancient debris blocks as I could carry. This is exactly what I need to give me an edge in the final battle. There's hope for me yet. From day 95 to day 97, I returned to my base one more time to make the final upgrades needed. Gathering that ancient debris was incredibly helpful because it would give me the ability to create some of the most powerful armor out there, even stronger than diamond. I took the ancient debris to my smelting furnace and smelted it until I had some nether scraps. That was the first stage of the process. Then, I looked through my storage until I found some gold ingots, exactly what I needed. I crafted them together to make some handy netherite ingots, which I then fused with the diamond armor I created earlier. The result? Netherite armor! Some of the strongest armor there is, straight from the nether, and perfect for a demon like me! Let's see if Sir Slashalot can even put a scratch on me like this! But I wasn't done yet. Next, it was time to enchant. I created the unbreakable enchantment, one for each piece of my armor and for my prized weapon, the flamed dragonbone sword. Then, just in case things went south during the battle, I crafted a few healing potions, just in case I needed them. Before I set off to do what I needed to do, the Hellhound approached me one more time to offer some words of advice.
And remember, wait until just before the fight to activate your fire aspect and reach full power. He'll never expect it that way. You'll take him by surprise.
Thank you for all of your help, Hellhound. I never could have gotten this far without you.
Don't mention it, Zozo. I'd do it all again. Now get out there and show that rust bucket what we demons are made of.
On day 98, I reached the outside of Castle Slashalot once more, and this time I wouldn't chicken out. I'd take him on and defeat him once and for all. Do you believe I can do it? Let me know down there in the comments, along with whatever adventure you'd like me to take next. And be sure to search Zozo for more exciting Minecraft videos. On day 99, I returned to the place that I'd once run from, Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum. The way in wasn't even guarded, so I knew that Sir Slashalot in his ultimate Demon Crusader form wanted to defeat me himself. That was a mistake I'd make him regret. I entered and saw him standing there, waiting for me. He didn't even seem intimidated, but then again, neither was I. It was the final standoff.
We meet again, demon. This time, are you ready to accept your defeat with some dignity?
Funny, I was just about to ask you the same thing.
Such a sad comeback. Do you really think you can defeat me like this, Zozo?
Perhaps not. But how about like this? I activated my fire aspect enchantment and began my own final upgrade. I became a huge, powerful demon, just like the one I'd built my statue around, with a mighty 100 hearts. I wielded my flamed dragonbone sword, ready to bring this to an end. I could feel the anger coming off of Sir Slashalot as I squared up to him.
Typical. Cheating demon. Can't fight fair to save his life.
Man, I'm getting so sick of hearing you talk. We clashed for the last time, but now I was ready. As Sir Slashalot tried to attack me, I was fast and strong enough to block. And in the end, one decisive blow brought the evil knight down.
I can't believe it. Defeated by a worthless demon. What a humiliating way to go.
I punched him one last time, and then he was gone. On day 100, I returned to the base, having finally defeated Sir Slashalot and ended the threat that faced all demons and those who were kind to them. I met back up with the Hellhound and the Snow Fox, who'd been with me through all of this, and I used the Snow Fox's guitar to play us a rad victory song. Life was sweet once again.